This was supposed to be President Joe Biden's week in the sun. He was going to be nominated to try to win a second term as president, and end the convention with a rousing speech on Thursday. Instead, he speaks on the opening night. And it's a speech that we're told will be an address focused on his legacy and at the same time turning the page to a new generation of leadership. One unusual item, delegates tonight are set to approve a party platform that still refers to President Biden's second term. This afternoon, the Harris campaign announced as president, she wants to raise the corporate tax rate to 28%, another detail in the economic plan she started to unveil on Friday. Senior White House correspondent Peter Ducey is here in Chicago. He starts us off tonight live on the floor. Good evening, Peter.
Good evening, Brett. A few minutes ago, we saw President Biden on stage doing a walkthrough ahead of his address tonight. And in video that we have from this walkthrough, he appears kind of downtrodden. His mic wasn't turned on. He was barely speaking above a whisper. But when somebody asked him if this is a bittersweet moment, he said it is a memorable moment.
Mr. President, are you ready to pass the torch, sir? Are you ready to pass the torch? Yes, I am.
Biden aides tell us the president's pitch tonight will be, with Kamala Harris and Tim Walz, we must ensure democracy is preserved.
He's going to be giving a speech, I think, that will look very much forward, as her campaign is, into what comes next. This is not a time for legacy. This is a time for arguing why Kamala Harris is the best candidate.
Not according to the DNC's official platform, which was voted on July 16th, 5 days before Biden dropped out, and still included 21 references to President Biden's second term when it was released, with lines like this one on page 3. President Biden, Vice President Harris, and Democrats are running to finish the job.
You can tell right now by what very few proposals that Kamala Harris has put on the table, she doesn't have a clue.
The Harris campaign website still doesn't list any policy proposals, but officials tell us she wants to hike the corporate tax rate from 21% to 28% as a way to put money back in the pockets of working people and ensure billionaires and big corporations pay their fair share.
They will be fighting for a progressive agenda.
Infighting has been a problem for the party for the last month. In the New York Times, Maureen Dowd writes, it's going to be a glorious coronation, except that everyone's mad at one another. The First Lady's office now says otherwise.
I don't see any hard feelings. I think that there's been way overblown.
Democrats concede intra-party policy fights are unavoidable, but they can wait till Friday when the convention is over.
Look, I'll be the first to admit, Democrats are not perfect. But you know what? They're nuts. And that's what this is all about here today.
President Biden's aides are telling us he's happy with the momentum the Harris-Walz ticket has been making since he dropped out, and he is going to be the headliner tonight. But because his 2020 convention happened in a Delaware parking lot, he's never accepted a nomination for president in a crowded convention hall, and he never will. Brett?
We're going to need to go ahead and move you downstairs into storage B.
No,
we
I was told I could
have some
not.
new people coming in, and we need all the space we can get.
But there's no space.
So if you could just go ahead and pack up your stuff and move it down there, that would be terrific.
I was told
okay.
I could stay. Excuse me. I believe you have my stapler.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are live here inside of the Benny bunker at the DNC. Well, technically, we are in Chicago. We're not inside the DNC. There are not that many people inside the DNC. They had a lot of trouble getting people in. There are actually more protesters outside of the DNC. Ladies and gentlemen, we can see here from today, the protesters were tearing down the wall. Mr. Gorbachev, tear down this wall. Tear it down. The protesters, total and complete chaos at the DNC. They were ripping the walls down. They're fighting with cops. Everyone's angry. Everyone's pissed. Everyone's upset with each other, and it is disunity. It is such a diss to Joe Biden, what they were about to do to this sad, poor little man tonight. It is such an insult to Joe. He's about to schlep on stage and have to play second fiddle to Hillary Clinton, the person who Barack Obama passed him over for in 2016 just to go on to lose to Donald Trump. So really embarrassing here. Hundreds of thousands of protesters marching through the streets, marching to the DNC. Look at this image. Look at this. Hundreds of thousands of protesters calling Kamala a war criminal, calling Joe Biden a war criminal, and taking over the DNC. There's more protesters than there are delegates at the DNC. That is the vibe right now. And that is something that also caused cops to threaten to pepper spray and use gases to get the protesters away because they were so close to the DNC. You see, they literally tore the gates down. They tore the walls down at the DNC. Should have let Donald Trump build your wall. Should have let Trump build your wall. That's what you get. Tonight, we are going to get something very special at the DNC. Will we get a Joe Biden resignation? We're not exactly sure. We just have this photo of a U-Haul in front of the White House. I don't know. We're not sure. Why wouldn't they do that? Why wouldn't they say, hey, just get the hell out of here? Like, you really think they're going to pass up on the diversity hire, on the historic moment, on the first black woman president, and like forcing that to happen? You think they're going to leave that to chance? They're going to kick Biden out. Biden is being treated worse than a dog here at the DNC. It's absolutely despicable. It's really, really sad. And ladies and gentlemen, it's just borderline depressing. Check this out. This is from Nancy Pelosi earlier today. Again, they're just kind of like idiots blathering on stage right now. We'll cut to the DNC programming, I guess, here in just a little bit. We're going to wait for people, people technically that we know, like that are going to be up there. We have, I guess you can see here. I don't know who these people are, so I don't know. Producer ALX is with us. He can tell us when anything's good. Here, this is good. Nancy Pelosi earlier today saying, I did what I had to do, straight up Corleone family. There was a hit job on Joe Biden. Nancy Pelosi, the person who threatened Joe Biden with the 25th Amendment, said that we are going to remove you from office. We'll side with Republicans and we'll impeach you. And you saw today, Republicans released the impeachment documents on Joe Biden. So Democrats said, no, if you don't leave office, we are going to impeach you. And then better yet, wait till you see what we have on your family. They brought in all the dirty. What do you think? They're going to let Joe Biden become president without leverage? They got leverage on the guy. They brought in all the leverage and they said, you're done. And we already wrote the letter and we signed it for you. Here's Nancy Pelosi. Go.
You know what?
Have you talked to him is my only question.
What I have to do.
Right.
He made the decision for the country. My concern was not about the president, it was about his campaign.
I had to do what I had to do. Oh, man, they're so evil. Joe Biden earlier today. We got that? We got Joe Biden wandering around the stage earlier today, looking pretty depressing. We got Joe Biden and Hillary Clinton tonight on stage. We also got Charlie Kirk in the studio tonight. This has been very interesting outside of the United Center, which is what it's called in Chicago. United Center, absolute chaos, line after line after line, hundreds of people waiting to get in. 1.5 hours after the program started, staff, delegates, media, everyone is stuck outside. But they're not missing a lot. They're missing cringe like this. Okay, check this out. This is what some like no-name weirdo state senator from Michigan, I believe, had to say. They're clearly setting her up, right, to run after Big Gretch gets in. Here we go.
Donald Trump would be able to weaponize the Department of Justice to go after his political opponents. He could even turn the FBI into his own personal police force. That is not how it works in America. That's how it works in dictatorships.
Yeah. Okay. We got that Kathy Hochul clip? Yeah? Yes? Okay. Amazing. Because Kathy Hochul, the governor of New York, she was on seconds after that talking, like making jokes about Donald Trump, like making jokes about how Trump is, not coming to New York except for to get charged by the charges that we set up for him. Also, this lady does this forked tongue thing. I don't understand that. Don't understand it. What is this? Who is this? What the hell is going on here? What is that? What is that? What is that? Ah! Oh, jeez. You see this? Look at this. What? Who are these people? Somebody call an exorcist. Look at that. Look at that. Someone call an exorcist. Psychotic. Where's Kathy Hochul? Got him? Go.
Trump hasn't spent much time in New York lately, except that is to get convicted of 34 felonies. And that's just fine with us.
Irony is dead. Look at this. You got Kathy Hochul joking about how many felonies that President Trump has in New York. Like make it like it's a laugh line. It's a laugh line. It's a joke. And then you have this state senator saying, if Donald Trump gets in, then he might weaponize the Justice Department against a political opponent. Irony is dead. Irony is completely and totally dead. Here's some of the other things that you have missed if you were not watching. What's that? Uh-oh. All right, ladies and gentlemen. We got Hillary on the stage. Let's rock and roll. We got live at the DNC convention. Hillary Clinton on the stage right now. Whoa! She looks rough.
He has been democracy's champion at home and abroad. He brought dignity, decency, and confidence back to the White House. And he showed what it means to be a true patriot. Thank you, Joe Biden, for your lifetime of service and leadership. And now we are writing a new chapter in America's story. You know, my mother Dorothy was born right here in Chicago before women had the right to vote. That changed 104 years ago yesterday. Think about it. Tennessee became the final state to ratify the 19th Amendment to the Constitution. The state legislature was deadlocked until one lawmaker's mother, a widow who read 3 newspapers a day, sent a letter to her son. No more delays, she wrote. Give us the vote. And since that day, every generation has carried the torch forward. In 1972, a fearless black congresswoman named Shirley Chisholm
Man, I do not miss this screechy.
She ran for president.
This is...
And her determination let me and millions of others dream bigger, not just because of who she was, but because of who she fought for. Working parents, poor children, the last, the least, and the lost. In 1984, I brought my daughter to see Geraldine Ferraro, the first woman nominated for vice president.
This is like a verbal vasectomy.
If we can do this, Jerry said, we can do anything. And then there was 2016, when it was the honor of my life to accept our party's nomination for president. Nearly 66 million Americans voted for a future where there are no ceilings on our dreams.
Dude, Trump beats you. You're still so angry about it.
We refused to give up on America. Millions marched. Many ran for office. We kept our eyes on the future. Well, my friends, the future is here.
Look at that. To Nancy Pelosi. It's 90-year-old Nancy Pelosi. The future is here.
I wish my mother and Kamala's mother could see us. They would say, keep going. Shirley and Jerry would say, keep going.
The future is here, says 80-year-old Hillary Clinton from Epstein Island.
Women fighting for reproductive health care are saying, keep going. Families building better lives. Parents stretching to afford child care. Young people struggling to pay their rent. They're all asking us to keep going. So, with faith in each other and joy in our hearts, let's send Kamala Harris and Tim Walz to the White House.
The dentures are slipping. You can see it. You can see the dentures nearly out of her mouth.
You know, the story of my life and the history of our country is that progress is possible, but not guaranteed. We have to fight for it and never, ever give up. There is always a choice. Do we push forward or pull back? Come together as we the people,
Yeah.
or split into
That was Bill's choice too.
Them. That's the choice we face in this election. Kamala has the character, experience, and vision to lead us forward.
Yeah, Bill's choice in the White House. Do I push forward or pull out?
I know
It's a tough
her
one.
heart and her integrity. We both got our start as young lawyers, helping children who were abused and neglected.
Oh, like your husband
That
on Epstein
kind
Island.
of work
Like your husband
changes
on
a
Epstein
person.
Island. Talk about
Those
abused
kids
children, you
stay
witch.
with you. Kamala carries with her the hopes of every child she protected, every family she helped, every community she served. So as president, she will always have our backs, and she will be a fighter for us. She will fight to lower costs for hardworking families, open the doors wide for good-paying jobs, and yes, she will restore abortion rights nationwide.
Bill Clinton happiest about that. This is despicable. Bill Clinton flew on the Lolita Express 37 different times. And you're talking about abused children?
Kamala locked up murderers and drug traffickers. She will never rest in defense of our freedom and safety. Donald Trump fell asleep at his own trial, and when he woke up, he made his own kind of history, the first person to run for president with 34 felony convictions.
Well, he hasn't actually been, he's not actually a felon yet, but he's also an outlaw president. Outlaw president's badass. Nope. Outlaw president.
As vice president, Kamala sat in the Situation Room.
Oh, man. Trump, you should have locked her up, man. Trump should have locked her up. I love my boy, but they've told us the story before. Trump wanted to be thought it would divide the country to not lock up Hillary.
We also know as vice president, Kamala
Should have done it.
sat in the Situation Room and stood for America's values. I know what it takes, and I can tell you, as Commander-in-Chief, Kamala won't disrespect our military and our veterans.
Oh, really? What about the 13 that she killed? What about Benghazi? How about you?
She reveres our Medal of Honor recipients.
Really? Say the word Benghazi. Say it.
Won't be sending love letters to dictators.
Really?
She will defend democracy and our Constitution and will protect America from enemies, foreign and domestic.
Say Abby Gate. Say it. Say Abby Gate in Afghanistan, the 13
Think
dead.
about it.
Say it.
The Constitution
She knows how to respect her troops.
Says the president's job is to take care that the laws be faithfully executed. Those are the words of our founders. Take care. Just look at the candidates. Kamala cares about kids and families, cares about America.
Oh, man.
Donald only cares
acting.
about himself. On her first day in court, Kamala said 5 words that still guide her. Kamala Harris, for the people. That is something that Donald Trump will never understand. So it is no surprise, is it, that he is lying about Kamala's record. He's mocking her name and her laugh.
Oh, there we go with the
Sounds
name.
familiar.
That's right, Crooked Hillary.
But we
That's
have
right,
him
Crooked
on the
Hillary.
run now.
Mocking her laugh and her name.
So,
Why do they keep showing the old? Why do they keep showing the old bearded?
no matter what the polls say, we can't let up. We can't get driven down crazy conspiracy rabbit holes. We have to fight for the truth. We have to fight for Kamala as she will fight for us. Because you know what? It still takes a village to raise a family, heal a country, and win a campaign.
I ain't always tired. I've come too far.
And America needs every one of us. Our energy, our talents, our dreams. We're not just electing a president, we're uplifting our nation. We're opening the promise of America wide enough for everyone. Together, we put a lot of cracks in the highest, hardest glass ceiling. And tonight, so close to breaking through once and for all, I want to tell you what I see through all those cracks and why it matters for each and every one of us. What do I see? I see freedom. I see the freedom to make our own decisions about our health, our lives, our loves, our families.
Unless it's COVID, of course. Then we'll shut down your business and lock you away.
The freedom to work with dignity and prosper. To worship as we choose or not. To speak our minds freely and honestly. I see freedom from fear and intimidation, from violence and injustice, from chaos and corruption. I see the freedom to look our children in the eye and say, in America, you can go as far as your hard work and talent will take you, and mean it. And you know what?
Oh, she's so bad at
On the other
this.
side of that glass ceiling is Kamala Harris raising her hand and taking the oath of office as our 47th President of the United States.
Oh, she's so bad. Oh, wow. No wonder you got your ass beat by Donald Trump. No wonder. Oh, it's so cringe. It's so hard to listen to.
My friends, when a barrier falls for one of us, it falls. It falls and clears the way for all of us.
It's method
so
acting.
For the next 78 days, we need to work harder than we ever have. We need to beat back the dangers that Trump and his allies pose to the rule of law and our way of life. Don't get distracted or complacent. Talk to your friends and neighbors. Volunteer. Be proud champions for the truth and for the country that we all love. I want my grandchildren and their grandchildren to know I was here at this moment, that we were here, and that we were with Kamala Harris every step of the way. This is our time, America. This is when we stand up. This is when we break through. The future is here. It's in our grasp. Let's go win it.
Oh, man. Oh, they're doing the fight song. No. They're doing the fight song. Oh, my God. That's so bad. You will never be president. You will never be president. Okay. Whoa. No, I just mute. Just mute it. Hold on. Show it. You'll never be president. You'll never be president. You will never be president. So embarrassing. Unbelievably embarrassing. Ladies and gentlemen, we have some more friends to join us in this cringe. The great Charlie Kirk in the house.
Sorry, I'm late.
Rocking over. What up, King? How you doing, man?
Great.
All right. Hop
Benny,
on in here.
I have my, is this on?
Yeah.
I have my special DNC credentials.
Oh, wow. Show the people. Yeah, let's
Yeah,
there we go.
right. It's,
We'll
by the way,
square it up
this
here.
is the weirdest, you want to talk weird? They put the chair of the DNC on the credential in case you, like Jamie Harrison.
Oh, good. Okay.
It's kind of like when you land in Phoenix, like, I am Mayor Kate Gallego.
Yeah,
so you remember
that's
my
right.
name. It's
We
very
have something
strange.
like that in Tampa.
Anyway, so this
Yeah.
is my official credential.
So what's the rest of that? It's like a bridge, but it looks kind of like a.
So first of all, don't insult Chicago, but this is very un-Chicagoan. Like, what is that?
Yeah, exactly. That doesn't look like Chicago at all. You're from here.
This looks like they repurposed their credential from their like convention in Detroit or something.
You're from around. You're from here.
Yeah, and you're kind of from the region.
You love Chicago.
I love Chicago. Hate what it's become.
They power washed the city, man. They scrubbed the city.
It's still
Eric
reeks
Trump
of
was on this
weed,
morning
but-
being like they moved out all the homeless camps from around.
Do you guys
Trump
agree
Tower.
that there's still less police though than there were in Milwaukee? In Milwaukee, it felt like it was unbelievable.
Yeah, yeah.
It still feels a little bit scant here.
There were less police, but they needed them today. They tore the wall down.
I know.
Yeah.
The Democrats don't know how to build walls.
The orcs breached Helm's Deep.
That's right.
Yeah. You gotta,
Benny, I
gotta
wish,
call the riders of Rohan.
Benny, what I would give to have you come into the interior of the DNC with me, I'll tell you. I just walk these halls, and if looks could kill, I'd be dead 100 times over.
Oh, yeah?
In a minute. Oh, my goodness. People come up to me. I effing hate you. You're the worst thing ever. You're awful.
Oh, that's
How'd you get
amazing.
in here? You know what I say? I thought you guys love open borders. There's no background check, no vetting. Drives me crazy.
There was. They approved our credentials, and then they took it away from us. Yeah.
Charlie Kirk show credentials.
There you go, right there. Okay, so wait a second. You were on the young Kirks. You were on the Young Kirks.
They're renaming it the Young Kirks.
You've
Cenk
been
agreed
Yeah.
on air that it will be called the Young Kirks.
Okay, did he really?
No, of course
okay.
not.
All right.
No, it's the Young Turks.
Makes good content. I see the content.
No, it's great. Yeah, we were on there for like 40. I did a lot of adversarial media today.
Yeah.
It's great. Some crazy lunatic in an Antifa backpack sort of just came up and just started screaming at me. Oh, it's unbelievable. And then the Georgia kid in the seersucker
Yeah, do we have that?
Oh, it's too good.
ALX, we
I
got
kid you
that?
not. Like 20 seconds, I walk in, I'm just like looking at.
Let me know when we're ready.
I'm
We'll
kind of
throw
like
to it.
Hillary at her convention. I'm like looking up, really impressed. Like,
Hillary just got off the stage.
How'd you do?
They did a lock him up chant for Trump.
Did they?
Yeah, that's right. And that speaker has been talking about how bad it would be to have President Trump because he'd weaponize the justice system. We have the feed up live. You can see what they're doing now.
Biden on? Has Biden taken the stage?
No, we have a little bit of a we have Clyburn up right now. So this is live.
I bet Clyburn introduces Biden. I bet that's
well. So he actually the list is actually quite extensive. We have Clyburn, Rat.
How late is this thing gonna go?
Crockett, Jasmine Crockett. Yep.
Is this in order?
Yep. Grace Meng. Then they have a bunch of joint remarks from who knows. Then Andy Beshear, then Warnock, Chris Coons, then Jill, then Ashley, then Joe.
What? Are they?
So Joe's gonna speak at like midnight, bro.
Are they doing like Sundowner Syndrome 2.0 on Joe?
That's right.
This guy's gonna be toast.
Yeah,
this guy will be like, my fellow Americans, this is why we've declared war on Iran. A war we will win.
Is he gonna resign tonight? What do you think?
No way. No way. People think he's going to resign the presidency. I said, no way. No way he gives up that plane.
They're not going to like get the opportunity.
It's all about the perks. You think he's going to go back to flying commercial after this? He gets the plane for like 6 more months.
They have the opportunity to guarantee their intersectional female president. Just get Joe Biden to step aside, and you guarantee it, right? You don't have to leave anything up. You leave nothing up.
Do you think that helps her election chances or hurts them?
Hurts horribly, which is why I want it to happen.
So you think that
because she'll come in and she'll say, "Hey, all Americans get a free basketball, right?" or something like that. She'll pass. She'll declare something, amazing, really special for the American people, and she'll run on that, right? They'll give her one big win, And
but I mean, so that's a good question. Is her not being president and the anticipation of her becoming president better or bigger than, she's already president, she can look presidential, be at the Oval Office, resolute desk?
I mean, I'm just saying they have their shot, their wide open goal right now. And so I don't know. There was a U-Haul truck in front of the White House today.
Was there?
Yeah. There was a U-Haul truck in front of the White House today, so I'm not sure. It could have just been for Hunter's Coke bags. We don't know. We're not sure.
I don't think that Biden will give up power.
You don't think so? What did you see at the DNC? So you were trolling the DNC today. We do have the clip.
For the
do
record,
you mind we play the?
I was reporting.
Oh, you were
I'm
reporting.
a very serious journalist.
So there's a young man whose blood pumps with pure soy that came to you.
Caffeinated soy, for the record. This guy pounded back like a 6-shot espresso iced coffee this morning with a line of Adderall, and he was ready to roll.
So I think he's been ID'd as the guy dancing at the Megan Thee Stallion concert.
Right.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, the other guy dancing was Tim Walz because he thought it was an actual stallion that was going to be on stage, but actually, unfortunately, just a rapper.
You got to play this tape.
Okay, so here we go.
This guy comes out.
Let's get audio on this.
It's really something.
Yep, let's get audio on this.
Because we have a Republican governor and a Republican Secretary of State in the state of Georgia.
What's your name? You said Parker?
My name's Parker. We have a Republican governor and a Republican Secretary of State in Georgia that approved our elections, and Donald Trump said that wasn't constitutional.
Relax.
Donald Trump tried to undermine our Constitution.
You're at 10. I just walked in. I'm here to just learn.
Hey, you're an anti-patriotic, anti-constitutional person crashing our party because you tried to stop our democracy.
I got one question.
Donald Trump called the Secretary of State of Georgia and told him to find him some votes.
What is a woman?
Oh my God. That is so fucking weird, y'all. Maybe you should meet one.
I'm married to one.
Same.
Circuit breaker.
This is so easy.
That's it. I rest my case.
So that dude just came up to you and started fronting?
Like, no, but I'm literally...
Like all 101 pounds of him?
I'm not exaggerating the timing. It was like walking in, Andrew and I wanted to just kind of get our bearings. We know it's not the RNC. We're guests here. We're press. Okay, we're not here to like pick a fight. And then this lunatic just starts filming me and just starts like, by the way, he's shivering like...
Oh, yeah, they're always shaking. Yeah, they're always shaking. Yeah.
You're anti-patriotic. He's like shaking like there's the videos all over the place he posted on TikTok.
Wait, was that his filming?
No, that's Andrew.
Oh, okay.
No, because then Andrew
Good job, Andrew. Way to be on the spot.
You see, Andrew's been trained. He understands the turning point way, the atmospherics of like, okay, there's a little melee going on here. And I'm kind of like Tucker in that fly shop in Montana, being like, I'm not doing this right now.
Yeah, that's right.
And then he really, like after about 20 seconds, I was like, okay, I'm going to end you. One question, because it's a circuit breaker. They can't answer it. And he literally just like starts melting down.
Did you ask did you ask him how many vasectomies he got?
No, by the way, it's like...
How many vasectomies can you get? That
vasectomy video is hilarious. He did. It's very good stuff.
You got to ask the questions. They're free. Democrats love...
By the way, if you're going to get a vasectomy, would you get one in an RV?
Yeah, would you get one in a shady bus with the windows all blacked out, driving down a bumpy road?
No, that's right.
In Chicago.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah,
I didn't mean to sever that organ.
Right. We're really, really sorry. You are now circumcised. You can now. There are plenty of religions to choose from.
It's a holy ceremony.
That's right.
I don't know what to do with all this blood. I mean, who goes into an RV and gets a vasectomy?
Charlie, the chat freaking loves you, man. They're going bananas.
Is that right? By the way, I saw a couple guys walking around like this with ice packs on their crouch. I was like, victims of vasectomies.
You got one, but you got one from the shady-ass Planned Parenthood bus that's driving down the road, and they're actually just
even
looking.
enough square feet in a bus to perform a vasectomy?
Just call it like free. What would it be called? A eunuch? Free eunuchness? I don't know what that surgery would be called. I mean, free making you a eunuch.
That's a pretty
Chop?
serious surgery, though, right?
Yeah.
I mean, the consequences are, rather consequential.
I want to tell the viewers two things here. One, we are monitoring the live feed. We have the entire slate. They're like not fun speakers. They're not great speakers.
Who do we have right now?
We can pop it up. You guys can see. I mean,
We're
not going to miss anything. The chat's melting down. The chat loves it. So
how many concurrents do we have right now?
Right now, across everything, we have 50,000.
There you go. That's
55,000.
Subscribe to the Charlie Kirk Show podcast.
There we go.
And then
boom. We love the chat. We love all of you. We're gonna rock and roll
Charlie
here.
Kirk Show.
And we're gonna talk. See, here's
who is this?
Ratskin.
He's wearing sneakers.
Yeah, Ratskin.
By the way, what is he doing getting a primetime address?
I don't know. Look at him. What is with these guys? What are with these Democrat men? And like they look like the inflatable wavy arm things out front of a.
They really like this guy.
Yeah, Jamie Raskin.
What does that say? Uplifting the what? Law?
Uplifting the law. It's all about being.
Oh, they had Hillary Clinton for the uplifting the law night. Now they're just outright trolling us.
Well, Hillary Clinton talked about abusing children. Bill Clinton can't be reached on Lolita Express.
Is that where he is right now?
Yeah, I think so. 27 different trips.
Okay,
so here's what's most important, Charlie. That I completely agree. Okay, so I want to say this. I don't care how many subs I lose. I completely agree with this Democrat platform. Take it to the bank. All Democrat men get vasectomies immediately. Okay, as many as you can. And as
is that in the platform?
Snip, snap, snip, snap, snip, snap. Kamala Harris says, "Do not come." She means it. All right, get your vasectomies, Democrat men. I fully endorse this platform of the DNC. You can clip it, take it to the bank, put it on the Young Kirks. I endorse it.
It is renamed.
Yes, I endorse it. Okay, all men. This is a platform that I totally endorse. All men, Democrat men, get your vasectomies immediately.
That is, it sounds about right.
That's how we win, Charlie.
Well, I mean, by the way, it was so fascinating. I sat down with Cenk Unger and Anna Kasparian. And, in a serious note, I asked them because they were upset about the childless cat lady thing that JD said, and I defended him. And I said,
I
asked the question. I said, if you have 50 random people that are childless and 50 random people that have families, which group of people would likely make better political decisions for the rest of the country? They said no difference. I think that's like the dumbest thing I've ever heard in my life. Like, you have 50 people that have strong families with children and they're anchored in their communities, and you have 50 people that don't have kids. Like, of course the people that have families are going to make better political decisions. Of course.
Right.
And they're like, no, you have to care about climate change and all these abstractions. I said, okay, well, I mean, I don't know about you, but having kids totally changes you. And Cenk was like, I was unchanged by having children.
He said that?
Yes, right, Andrew? He was like, I was unchanged politically by having children.
Oh, that's an awful thing to say.
No, it was
Can you
like,
imagine being that guy's kid and seeing that? That's a horrible thing to say.
I think that was warranted, though. I mean, I was like,
You're welcome to hop on, Andrew, if you want.
Can I have a water, by the way?
Yeah, we got time.
What a beautiful. By the way, how great is this hotel?
This is amazing.
I tried to call him today, President Trump, be like, this is the most underrated property you have, without a doubt.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Don't you agree? The views, isn't it unbelievable? It's just terrific.
Some of us can't just call Trump, but we can call other Trump. Eric and Laura were on the show this morning, and Eric's like, I love that property. I worked so hard.
Benny's trying to have me give you his number.
No. I'm perfectly fine. I love the Trump kids. The Trump kids.
That's fine. I'm not giving you his number, Benny, okay?
Trump kids are my boys. But they all have children.
Alex, tell him I'm not giving him his number, okay?
They all have children. Like what? Like that's
no
the
spam
only,
texting Trump, Benny.
I would send Trump memes. Okay,
I know,
let me make this very clear.
I'm not giving you his number.
I would send Trump memes.
Owned. Like,
I would.
Good morning, Mr. President.
Yeah.
Here's your daily meme energy.
That's right. Here's you punching with your fist.
By the way, all of them would end up on Truth Social.
They would. Yeah, that's right. I could single-handedly end the campaign, and so maybe it's best. It's actually probably best. So what did the DNC? What did the DNC smell like?
So I mean, I have to go.
You must have some takeaways.
Yeah, I mean, first of all, these are super sad people. I mean, they're just like noticeably sad. Number two, I will say that the Kamala Harris thing, one takeaway, Kamala Harris went on stage surprisingly tonight. Yeah. And I didn't know that when it happened. I was in the media room and all of a sudden, like 10, 20-year-old girls start sprinting. Like sprinting. I don't know where they're going. And I find out like 20 minutes later, Kamala was speaking, and they literally just wanted to get a glimpse of Kamala. Like for young girls, it's like a legit thing. I saw it. It was the closest thing to like, pop culture phenomenon. I mean, I'm talking about like it's, the equivalent of Taylor Swift or whomever is here, like sprinting through the halls, like we have to get a glimpse of our leader type thing.
Wow.
And yeah, I mean, I will say that, I mean, there was obviously super nasty people. I actually expect to be confronted more, to be honest. Like, I mean, we were confronted, 4 or 5 times, Andrew? Maybe. Yeah. A young kid came up and asked me about the Civil Rights Act. Nice kid. Gave him a short answer. And yeah, I mean, he was super sweet. But who else? I was starting to think, like, we were ambushed a couple times, the Georgia kid, and the Antifa kid. And then another guy came up, and we have this interaction. And he has this Kamala Harris button. And he's like, yeah, I'm a swing voter. I'm like, what?
I'm a swinger.
No, he's not a swinger, Benny. They saved that for Thursday night.
Okay, got it. Get on the bus. Everyone get on the bus.
That's right.
Quick. We're going fast down a bumpy road. We actually do have the Kamala cringe clip. I don't think it's that long. I think it's good. It's okay. So I would like to see it because I haven't actually seen it.
I will say though, here was the most crazy thing.
Please.
Because I was telling people I was going ahead of time, and they were like, "Oh, no one's going to know who you are." No, they know. They follow our stuff.
You?
Yeah.
No. Of course they know who you are.
But no, it's interesting, like how much right-wing content penetrates left-wing brains.
Yes.
And it was. I mean, I'm telling you.
Well, nothing else penetrating.
If looks could kill. No, I'm like every 5 feet. It was like.
Have you ever seen these people? Nothing.
My favorite. One of my favorite one. I was walking in, and one guy was screaming, "Excuse me, Charlie Kirk is here. I am reporting this to the topmost employee that will listen. I repeat, Charlie Kirk is here." It was like the most like mall cop reporting thing. And he was like, "Are you aware of who is at our convention?" I was like, or the most bro moment is when these like yoked 6'7" police guys are like, "Yo, Charlie Kirk." I'm like
yeah.
And then the people that are doing the event work, all MAGA. All MAGA.
So we're editing this right now. We went downtown and we just talked to people on Michigan Avenue. We went to Grant Park, right where Barack Obama does his, gets his anointing.
Well, it was Millennium Park, wasn't it?
Millennium
or was it Grant
Park,
or was it Millennium?
Park.
I thought it was Millennium when Obama did his speech, right?
Millennium Park?
Yeah. But you might be right.
So we're standing there on like this sacred
Can you
ground.
fact check that? It might be Grant, actually.
Sacred ground for the Democrat Party, and 9 out of 10 people say Trump. Guys, you're like we're not like being selective. I'm not like going just to the guys in the MAGA shirts. It was just like kind of random people.
I mean, every cop wanted a picture.
Like, every single person. And then the cops walk by, and all the cops are like fist bumping us. They're like, Trump, man, Trump.
All the cops wanted pictures.
Yeah.
But was so telling, Benny, it was like the people that were doing the food service, the janitorial crew.
Yes, of course.
Like the people that were doing the rigging and all. Like, it's so funny. They have this huge display when you walk into Media Row, brought to you by IBEW, the International Brotherhood of Electric Workers. Every rigging guy came up, was like, I want a selfie. I want a picture. I'm not supposed to do this. Like the MAGA penetration of the rank and file it's real. It's multi-ethnic. It's diverse. It's real.
It's a longer conversation, and I'd love to do a long form podcast on this. How we act, like the influencers that we know, some of them that you fostered, like Savannah Hernandez is a good one that comes to mind.
She's incredible.
We're doing better content at the DNC than Democrat influencers.
Mm-hmm.
Our team has been on the ground for less than 24 hours, and we've done tens of millions of views.
Think about it, just between you and I.
Tens of millions of views.
You and I, we had the most viral thing of me just walking in.
Yeah.
Because we're authentic and we're real. We're not artificial. We're not synthetic. And what I realized today is that post 2020, I can't say it before 2020, we have won the internet war. It is legit.
I think so.
We have more followers. We have more penetration. I mean, because... So, for example, if you took their top 5 online influencers, I don't know, Hassan Piker maybe, or
pull up the Wired magazine.
No, but
article.
seriously,
pull it up.
I don't know who half those people are.
Yeah, that's
right.
But
if they walk the halls of the RNC, do you think that most of the RNC delegates would know who? No, I'm telling you,
who Hassan or Cenk is. We saw Cenk
85
at the RNC,
and 85% of the people at the DNC knew our show, and they hated me. Knew Turning Point.
Yeah,
they would know you.
Yeah,
and that goes to show that our content is hitting their audience and their audience is sending the content back.
That's right.
It's going upstream to them. It's not like they might be searching out the content, but most of them don't. It means that their audience is like, you got to respond to this guy because my friends are getting red pilled by Benny.
And meanwhile, like
right? So
Don
it's going
Lemon,
upstream.
Don Lemon's wandering around.
He's a loser.
And like, this is amazing. He's wandering around in Atlantic City. I don't know if you saw that video.
It's a very weird video.
And some guy's like, dude, you must watch CNN. They didn't even know him. They're like, you must watch CNN. Don Lemon, like you can watch his world shatter. He's like, you don't know that I was on CNN. And Tucker's having that realization, and Catherine Herridge is having that realization. They did a whole podcast about it, how like they didn't realize that the corporate media, it's all fake.
Yeah, that's the right wing one. Do you have the left wing one though?
So this is the right wing one. Really quickly here. Here's Wired Magazine. Wired Magazine does.
It was a little bit of a weak piece.
Who are these people? What Josh Helfgott?
Yeah, I looked him up. He has a lot of followers on TikTok.
Okay. There's Hassan Piker. I do know that guy. One of your best friends.
How many concurrents do we have now, Alex? Let's get those numbers up.
Here we go, baby. The chats.
You have super chats you need to answer?
No, the chat loving it. We'll do super chats at the end. We love all y'all. They love you, Charlie. But this is the point. The point is that I don't know any of these people. But if you scroll down, these are the left-wingers influencing the election, and these are the people on the right influencing the election. Mm-hmm. And on that list, of course, you'll see Elon Musk, but you also see everyone knows who the Paul brothers are. You have Tucker Carlson on there.
By the way, Logan Paul is not a right-wing influencer.
He interviewed Trump, so they're going to say.
Jake Paul is for sure. Logan Paul is not
Trump,
a right. Yeah, but that's, I mean, sure. Okay, I'll take him. Obviously, I'll take Logan Paul any day.
He's got 23 million YouTube subs.
For sure.
Yeah.
But no, just to
zoom in.
The other takeaway, though, is that Democrats legitimately cannot defend their ideas in the wild.
And yeah, that's right.
So when in the wild, Democrats cannot defend their ideas.
No.
And so, they were almost like, how on earth does he have the stones to come into here? I was like, yeah, I'll debate. I'll talk to anybody. I don't care. One
of the weirdest things happened to us yesterday on the street. I said, Kamala or Trump. And the guy goes, Kamala. And he like eats the mic. And I go, okay, this is going to be good. Why? And he goes like this. And I kid you not, you'll see it when we release the video tomorrow. He goes like this. He goes, you got to delete this video. You got to delete it. You got to delete it. That's what and we're going to play the whole thing. It's going to be the first clip. And he just like had a brain aneurysm and just couldn't defend Kamala at all. Couldn't defend it. Just like brain broke.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think that they're used to defending their positions. And it was a lesson for me. I'm so glad I came. I'm sure you too. I will say, Benny, I wish more of our people were here.
That's right.
And
who's here?
Jack is here to his credit. Jack's here. We're here. But like that's kind of our vibe. Our vibe is to go into the wild, right? That's kind of what we built us. But it
makes us look like we're going on offense.
But I don't want to call anybody out. There's a lot of good people out there.
You're on offense today.
I think that we could have pushed this a little bit more.
It shows like that we're fearless and we can defend our positions.
Yes, and by the way, it's like, would Democrats go into the RNC? I mean, there were some. I mean,
who?
I mean, well, the MSNBC crowd actually didn't show up. So, but Caitlin Collins was there. NBC had some, street reporters. Cenk was at the RNC.
Yeah.
The Young Turks were there.
Kimberly Cheadle from the Secret Service was there.
She was there.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah. She got yelled at.
Yeah.
The RNC versus the DNC. Now, you were ubiquitous at the RNC. You came on our program. You were live the whole time. That was 100% of the people who knew you and your show.
Full market saturation. And I couldn't go 10 feet without selfies.
Total market saturation. And the vibe is so different. So you've seen inside the DNC now, and you've seen inside the RNC.
First of all,
what's the vibe? Check.
Talking about the party of joy. Our RNC was so full of gratitude and joy and appreciation and love and amazing spirit. I didn't sense that at all at the DNC. It was so funny. When I was waiting in line, it was a long line to get in today. It was like an hour-long line. I was like, Andrew, what? He's like, what? I'm like, this is the NPC meme. They're all just staring into the distance. And they're all just like... But like, and I was listening to like some conversations behind me, and like all they talk about is politics all day long. It's like a really sad life. And this one guy's like, yeah, my kid's not a progressive. And it's like the whole conversation, he's like, I'm really not sure what to do with it. And it was like this like liberal woman wearing a mask, and she's like, it's probably all those right-wing people online. I kid you not. I'm kid you not.
Got us.
And she was like,
got him.
And she was like, it's happening to a lot of young men in our community. And I was like, this is the greatest thing ever. Andrew, you didn't overhear that conversation, did you? You were on the phone. But it's so fascinating. Just, I'm going to say this as nice as I can, sweet as I can. They look like Democrats.
Okay, so
can I say that? Is that okay to say? Do you want to come on here, Andrew? Yeah, come on.
Okay,
You can't host the show this way.
So
look, I want to be very diplomatic. I'm not even saying it's a good thing or a bad thing. I mean, but it's there's like three types of Democrats that I saw. There were the kind of very radical, angry women Democrats. They were there. There were the minority Democrats and the very, very well-dressed, like black lawmaker Democrats. There were a lot of them.
There's a lot.
A lot. And like a lot of representation and super well-dressed. Well, I mean, like three-piece suits, really had their act together. But then there was the other category. Andrew, what was that other category?
I don't know where you're going with this.
But it just like
vasectomy
from like
vasectomy
eunuchs? Well, I will tell you
like
that
Seattle, Portland.
Well, I was going to say, when I was walking in, the first thing I saw this morning, first thing, and I got there before Charlie did, and I was walking behind three really fabulous black men that were just like, I mean, their outfits were next level.
I'm telling you,
there was
the
a lot of that
wardrobe
going on.
of black Democrat culture is the most impressive I've ever seen.
It's the most diverse.
It's 10 out of 10. No,
I don't mean that in a
I'll be
DEI.
honest. What an impressive haberdasher that supplies.
Yeah,
the Democrat Party.
Yeah, I would just say that the Charlie's so right when they say the Democrats look. It's like a facial mannerism thing. It's
But I'm talking about
glasses.
the 90% of them. Yeah.
You literally you look at them and you can tell. And actually, somebody who knew me was like, "Oh, I saw this guy around there, and it turned out to be you." And I was like, "That doesn't look like a liberal." And I was like, "Thank you." About me, I was like, "It's the nicest thing you've ever told me."
So we actually have two team members that did a show called Undercover Lib, and they like dyed their hair and like put on fake earrings.
You guys,
and, like, grew
you know
facial
what?
hair.
That's the vibe.
They like
No,
tried.
that's what.
They
that's
actually
what,
tried.
That's what half the convention looks like.
Eric, can you like hop on the stream, show
This
people?
This is the energy.
You can like show people kind of like
This
what
right here.
the vibe looked
By
like.
the way, Benny, I was like, "Who's running your show over here?"
Yeah. These are Undercover Lib.
No, this
so
right
we
here.
really like
this
cranked
vibe
it up. Yeah,
is the whole thing. Is that actually your tattoo?
Yeah.
Yeah, they had that too. Yeah. So, but like the kind of exposed chain, the kind of unkept facial hair, right? The whole kind of like.
I don't know. I would have picked him. I would have been. I would have.
No, but like society scorned me, but I'm like, I'm not. I don't want to testosterone to be mad about it, so I'm gonna like blame conservatives.
I mean, if you look really hard, you realize it. Like too strong of a jaw, but like they went and they asked questions as libs, and we did Undercover Lib.
No, he pulls it off. He did a good job.
But I
You
bet
wore the Kamala shirt, right? The
yeah. White dudes for we got white dude for Kamala shirts.
White dudes for Harris.
We got white dudes for Kamala shirts.
Beware of monkeypox. White dudes for
They
Harris.
actually gave out
It's spreading in your
vasectomies.
community.
This is an unfortunate.
Monkeypox is a very
they had a
serious
couple of
thing.
takers on the.
Hey, I can hear
vasectomies.
myself back now. Thank you,
Oh
guys.
yes, me too.
Oh, that's so much better.
There it is.
Thank you.
Yeah.
By the way, is Joe Biden going to speak at like
Yeah, so let's pop
1:30
over.
a.m.
Let's
Eastern?
pop over to the convention. We can show everyone. We are, the convention's
concurrents?
live. They just have like a bunch of 20. This is on YouTube. We have Jasmine Crockett speaking up.
Is she from the Virgin Islands, right?
No,
Speaking of haberdashery.
she's from Texas, Dallas.
I mean this with no shade. The wardrobe, Republicans need to dress more like black Democrats.
I'm telling. I
was so
like the
impressed.
best.
I'm
Okay,
talking
the
about
best,
these
yeah.
like three-piece red and blue.
No, they look
suits.
good. They look good.
Trim.
So my takeaway is self-loathing. They hate the vast majority of the Democrat Party hates the way God made them, and they take that out, and you can see it on their face. You can see the expression of like an angry. You can see the expression of like an angry, miserable person.
It's on the face.
They wear that
wear it.
misery, right? And so they hate their skin color, right? If they're white, they hate their genders. They hate who God made them, and that bitterness actually twists and contorts their faces and makes them look like miserable people.
Makes them look like liberals.
Yes,
It really does.
and that's how you can tell. You can absolutely tell.
But it's also from the men. I'm just gonna hit that gender here because there's only two of them.
Sex. There's no genders.
There's sex. Two sex.
There's no genders.
You're correct. Thank you for the correction. But I will say the men tend to be a lot more effeminate. They tend to be a lot skinnier, and they tend to be just sort of the weak jaw, the very unkempt. The button to their shirts tend to be unbuttoned excessively far down. It's a whole look. I mean, it was a whole. I mean, my eyes were completely wide, like opened today. Honestly,
It put faces to the trolls.
Yeah.
Right? Like all these people that send death threats and that
oh
are,
my gosh, walking the halls with Charlie was a
get the-
freaking experience.
Can you
oh,
load
Tyler,
up-
you missed it. You would have loved it. Tyler would have been laughing the whole time. Tyler can't believe I didn't get kicked.
We thought you'd get kicked.
What? Oh no! By the way, the angriest interaction was like this old lady.
She the Wojak memes. Like
oh
the,
no, that
the
woman
Wojak
was
memes
unbelievable.
perfectly
She
describe
comes
what they're
right
talking
up
about.
into my face, and she was
Wojak
like,
libs.
"You are the effing worst thing ever to exist in the world."
Yeah, and just
she
walked by.
What?
Yeah, Wojak memes. What you're describing is the Wojak meme.
I don't know what.
Which is the best.
You know what it is.
I got to go to Know My Meme.
Yeah, which is the best like compilation of liberal memes, right? So you guys just pop them up when you get them, just like the screaming lib memes. It perfectly encapsulates what you're talking about. Just the self-loathing, the anger, the male pattern baldness,
Yes.
and you know the low T.
Very low T.
Yeah, yeah,
Especially on the men.
super low T.
No, I mean, all kidding aside, I actually think that our politics is mainly driven by our poison food supply and from vaccine injured people potentially, and from people that are really like biologically not able to get their hormones balanced.
Yes.
I'm not, this is not a joke. Like, I
Yes.
think that if you took the average testosterone estrogen balance sampling of what we just saw at Chicago and Milwaukee, the blood work would be fascinating. That's like not a joke.
So
do you think I'm onto something?
Oh, totally. Because I've been to the last two DNC conventions, the ones they would let me in, and they these guys, right? Like,
you know.
Oh no, of course,
yeah,
of course, obviously.
So it's like you go to these DNC conventions, and I called, my wife, who's a medical professional. I'm like, something I think is mentally wrong. Something's physically wrong, and something's very deeply emotionally wrong.
Well, if you think about Democrat politics, it's all driven by grievances, right?
Yes.
So they're upset about something. Why do you become upset and grievance riddled? Why do you feel like you can't overcome something in your own life? It's because there's various reasons. Yes. That's a Deb. That's
yeah.
it.
These this
By the
is
way,
them seeing Charlie.
That was me.
That
was me in the security line because you know why?
Them seeing Charlie.
Oh, we got stuck in a security line for about 45 minutes.
Just to be clear, I'm 6'4" on a bad day. Okay,
Yeah.
like 6'5" with these shoes. I'm popping up, and these guys were like, "Is that who I think?" And they're trembling. And but understand, I represent a contradiction. So do you kick Charlie out? Therefore, you enforce your borders. Just like, is this not a legitimate credential? It's like I'm a walking contradiction. I didn't do anything worthy of being kicked out, right? I didn't make a scene. I was very chill. I was very understated.
This was your CBP one.
Yeah,
app
exactly.
Pass.
But at the same time, by the way, if they would have kicked me out, I would have actually had principle. I know what I would have said is like, okay, you guys have total right to control who comes into your party, right? Like you want people that share your worldview and that newcomers should actually agree with you. What a concept!
You're such a newcomer.
I am a newcomer. I'm a newcomer
Welcome
to the
to your
Democrat
new
Party.
neighbors.
We should do a caravan.
Have
to
you
the
ever been
DNC.
into a DNC though, Benny?
Yes, I've been inside. I've been inside. I've smelled it and I've seen it, and I've said like, "Wow, this smells like sweaty yogurt. Like this smells like sweaty Greek yogurt that has been left on the back of a camel." And unfortunately, it's developed something that's fungal. And I said, "This is too bad." It also
Too bad that half of our country is literally.
So how did half our country, because you go back to
Useful idiots.
hold on, this was the party of war hero JFK, this was the party of JFK giving speeches about how children are too chubby and we need to be masculine men and go to the moon.
I don't want to go too far
What
into this,
happened,
but
man?
I mean, you have a country.
That was 64.
You have a country that is screwing up with hormones, which is how you actually, it's your life force. Then don't be surprised if you get really weird politics from there.
Yeah.
So there's two things where I think the conservative worldview, at least traditionally, right? Trump came in and changed the way we think about trade. I think there's a couple different areas where we do, as conservatives, need to think about it. One is health and nutrition, right? Because there's a lot of stuff we put in our foods that they don't allow in Europe. Okay, is that good or bad, right?
Pesticides literally are illegal in Europe.
And zoning, but we can get into that another time.
Yeah, Blake will hate you on zoning.
Yeah, well, have you
very
been to
angry.
Houston?
He thinks it's great.
Anyways, yeah. No, I love zoning.
No, I'm with you, but Blake thinks that Houston is like this wonderful city.
Oh no, he's
Houston is like if the Soviets got to build an American city.
It's like
it's concrete.
Let's put a sewer next to a playground.
Do you agree, Tyler? I think Houston,
concrete.
you know our convention's in freaking Houston in 2028.
That's awful.
By the way, who thought it'd be a good idea to do anything in the summer in Houston?
Oh dear.
Ever.
Man, Milwaukee was sweaty. Like Houston's gonna be.
It's gonna be 100 degrees and 100% humidity.
Yeah.
Like the whole thing will just be like a cloud. It's
Is
not.
that like
Is it too late to change it?
Is that? I'm sure.
We should go to Vegas. Vegas is the perfect RNC city.
In the middle of the summer, that'll be great. But, at least it's not
everything's
humid.
indoors. No, they're ready.
It's true.
It's true. By the way, Vegas knows how to throw a party.
Yeah,
they have more hotel rooms than any other city per capita.
Although there could be some.
No, you do it at Allegiant Stadium.
Bad stories coming out of high-ranking officials.
Guaranteed.
I'm just saying.
Or the other way is that actually the vice is put within parameters. They don't have to like do it under the table like they do in other conventions.
Yeah, right. Tampa's great.
Tampa was the Republican convention in 2012.
I was there. That was a mess. Tampa was a mess. Cleveland was okay.
Milwaukee was a great choice.
Milwaukee was great. Vegas, baby. Turn Nevada red.
Yeah. Well,
I
it's
didn't
already red.
think I would enjoy Milwaukee as much as I did. Milwaukee was dope.
It was great.
It was so much fun.
convention.
I
That
didn't
was one
know
of the
I
best
loved
political
cheese
weeks
curds.
I've ever had. That was great.
Yeah.
I remember walking out with Charlie on the last day, and Charlie just paused, which Charlie never pauses. Charlie is like the fast. If you ever hang out with Charlie, just like be prepared to get like your running shoes on. Charlie paused, and I was like ahead of him for a second. I was like, what are you doing? And he got his camera out, his camera phone. He took a picture, and he's like, I just want to remember this. It was the most introspective I've ever seen Charlie Kirk.
Oh,
yeah, it was a really sweet moment. Yeah.
Okay, so what do you remember from today? What was like again?
Boy.
They took away our credentials. So like
other than the seersucker suit Georgia guy screaming at me,
which is hilarious because they're painting it like Charlie got owned, but if you actually look at engagements, there's like 10-1. This kid gets owned, but like it's almost like he put out his little trolls being like, I have to fight back. Please say that I won. It's really weird. It's like some propaganda mind game.
What's interesting about that clip is it's very feline energy, right? Like it was very, it was very meow, right? Like it was very, that guy had little.
But
claw,
frankly, consider this.
It wasn't a man coming up to you and like talking to you. It was very much like a shaking.
But I'm telling you, if you watch his video on YouTube, it's like all over.
But what's crazy is like this is how little news there was this morning.
It was the number one story coming out of
like
it.
Yeah, everybody was telling us it was the most viral thing they've seen today, and I'm like, that's an indictment of the DNC. I mean, until the rioters, got through breached the barricades or whatever. So like I think that overtook it. But there was not that much going on the first day of the DNC, which says something.
I want to put up the DNC live feed.
We have to go in a second.
Letting you guys know we still got people. We still got people speaking. There's like whoever the hell this guy is.
Andy Bashir or who?
Yeah. So it's 10:45 Eastern. The RNC wrapped every day at 10:45 Eastern, right? Am I correct?
This is
like
this is where Joe Biden goes. I told you my aides keep scheduling me after hours.
What time did we end it was right around this time every day, right? It makes you wonder if the RNC didn't do enough programming. That's interesting. What do you think?
Or maybe people are already checked out.
I mean, this is crazy.
There's going to be propaganda.
Almost midnight Eastern Standard Time.
But there's going to be propaganda like the ratings of the DNC break records, or they're going to like print that story.
This guy would have been a better VP than Walz. I don't know why he got passed over.
I think he didn't want.
Well, I think Shapiro would have been the best.
I know, but he would have been way better.
Could you imagine how crazy Hamas?
Politician.
Could you imagine how crazy the Hamas protest would have been if it was Shapiro?
True story.
If it was Shapiro, the whole place would be on fire.
True story. I talked to a Pulitzer Prize winning journalist when she was still deciding, and I knew it wasn't going to be Shapiro after talking to this guy, and he said there's no way on planet Earth that the Democrats pick a black woman or
this is Mark Halperin,
Indian.
Right?
No, I'm not going to say the name because there's no way in hell that the Democrats are going to go with a black woman as the top of the ticket and a Jew as the VP. It just will not happen. And I was like, really? And this person was Jewish. And I was like, well, that's a really cynical thing to say. He's like, it's never going to happen. You mark my words. He was right.
I mean, they tore down the fences today.
Yeah, I mean, you're right though. It would have put jet fuel on the protests, and they might end up getting bad. I'm told they're going to get worse on Wednesday. So we'll see.
Yeah, we saw plenty of it yesterday. Do we have the Kamala clip? It was like a short clip. She came on stage. You were talking about it. This is boring. Like whatever this is, I don't. Like, the guy looks like, you know, you asked ChatGPT to make J. Crew, J.C. Penney dad in a lawn mowing ad. Do we have Kamala? Play. Let's hear it. Kamala took the stage. Nobody was planning on this happening. Just Kamala takes the stage. I want your guys' reaction to it since you were in the room.
Good evening, everyone.
Listen to that.
Good evening. Good evening.
Yeah.
It is so good to be with everyone
meme
this
of
evening
Hillary
in
going,
this hall and everyone at home. This is going to be a great week.
Why are they doing this? Why are they bringing her out?
This was a
And
mistake.
I want to kick us off
Seems
by
desperate.
celebrating our incredible President, Joe Biden.
Rubbing it in, man. Salt in the wound.
I promise I
Who will be
didn't force
speaking
them out.
later tonight. Joe, thank you for your historic leadership, for your lifetime of service to our nation, and for all you will continue to do.
Yeah,
we
her
are
voice cracked.
forever
To
grateful
be fair,
to
I know
you.
the feeling. It's not good.
What? So she's got like the handheld. Interesting. Why the
Thank
handheld?
you, Joe.
I don't know how to hold this mic.
And
I'm not sure what to do with
looking
my
out,
hands.
I'm pretty sure she
looking
knows
out
what to
at
do with her hands
everyone tonight.
in this scenario.
I see the beauty of our great nation. People
Willie Brown.
from
She's been
every
here before.
corner of our country and every walk of life are here, united by our shared vision for the future of our country. And
Look at her.
this November, we will come together and declare with one voice, as one people, we are moving forward.
This is really
Look at her. If you know what you're looking for, you can see her ravenously
With
looking for the
optimism,
prompter. She's like
hope, and
desperate.
faith,
I think this is a mistake,
so
Andrew. You
guided by our love of country, knowing we all have so much more in common than what separates us. Let us fight for the ideals
as
we
Greg
hold
Kelly says,
dear,
why does she
and
always
let us
also
always
scripted?
remember, when we fight,
We win.
we win. God bless you. God bless the United
some sort of,
States
like,
of America.
Stalinist
Good night,
anthem.
everyone.
Oh man, her voice is cracking.
Yeah. I think that was a
Camilla.
mistake. There was no. She got to keep her powder dry there, but it was also really forced because we know what she sounds like when she's off the script. So when she's trying to make it sound natural, she just couldn't because she was reading written words that actually made sense and formed proper sentences. And we know that's the first clue you need to know that she's reading off a prompter. But I mean, lots of people do it, but yeah, I think it was a mistake because you want to keep your powder dry. She spoke for too long, in my opinion, and it felt inauthentic because we know that she helped push Joe Biden out, and we know that she has a lot of explaining to do about his cognitive decline that she covered up.
She'll never have to explain it. That's the
Well,
crazy
unless
part.
somebody sits her down and
Pelosi. Did you see
force-
that clip?
No,
like
I didn't.
Pelosi being like, "I did what I had to do." She like snapped on CNN. They were like, "What?
Oh,
what's
yes,
the
I
deal
saw
with Biden?" She goes, "I did what I had to do." And like the Corleone music plays, the Godfather theme plays, right?
Yeah. Well, I've been told credibly here by multiple reporters that the top two people that Joe Biden is really pissed off at are Nancy Pelosi and Barack Obama.
Yeah, of course.
And I've heard, but not here. I actually had one of the reporters denied it, so maybe it's not right. And this is somebody in the know that I've been told that he is like vehemently actually upset at Kamala, but he's not willing to do anything that would tarnish his legacy. So he knows that he's already said, "Hey, I'm going to consolidate my support, throw it behind Kamala," and so he can't go back on that for the sake of his legacy. But he's pissed.
Legacy. I mean, Blagojevich was on the program, and he's like, "I know how this works because Obama did it to me. These same people did it to me.
right.
They brought in the file. They brought in the blackmail file. They put it on the desk." And they say, would be a shame, really, would be a shame if NBC News got this, and New York Times got this, and CBS got this, and the AP got this. Wouldn't that be terrible for your granddaughter, right? If they found this out, that the Coke is actually hers? Because we have the DNA on the Coke, right, Joe? And we know it's your granddaughter, right?
Yeah,
Like,
Democrats
that's
play
how you
dirty.
do it.
Democrats
That's how you do
play
it.
dirty. I mean, you got to tip your cap to them because they.
Do you think they'd ever let Joe Biden in without that file? Like without them having full and total leverage, that's how the system works over Joe.
Pure machine. I mean, Trump is one
Blackmail.
of the few modern politicians that looked at the file and said "F you" to the file.
Yeah,
and
publish it.
This is
Yeah,
why
that's
he's
right.
been at war with the machine ever since.
That's right.
Publish
it. We got this tape of
he
you
banked
saying-
on he banked
yeah.
on his own power and support of the base. I don't think any Democrat has the stones to do that. So
Andrew, are we able to stream from here, or we got to go to the other
yeah,
one?
we've got to.
Okay.
Yeah.
See you later.
See you.
Thank you.
Thank
that
you
was
guys.
Great, guys.
Everyone.
Thanks for having me
subscribe
on,
to
my
the Charlie Kirk Show, and we're doing a late night stream if Benny's no longer streaming. We go late. So
And
see you guys.
if Benny wants to join, you're welcome.
Yeah, you're welcome.
All right.
See you, man.
Later, boys.
Thanks, guys.
What's up? What's up, chat? What's going on? Tyler, you hopping on? Okay. Okay. See ya. All right. We wanna roll over? Yeah. What's up? We got more wonderful guests in the studio. We got let's just show what's going on stage. Go. What do we got? Raphael Warnock here. Raphael Warnock on the stage. And how far along is he in our little list here? What's next? Jill Biden? Are they finally up? Goodness gracious, they got a long. They're going to run Joe Biden to midnight.
It's like a full hour behind.
They're going to run Joe Biden to midnight. Please introduce yourself to the chat.
Yeah, my name's Will Pierce. I ran Draft Biden for Biden back in 2016. Worked for Bernie, I know, for about 8 years. I'm chasing him throughout the whole entire country, and then just left the party just because the state ran right now.
Yeah. What's up, Will?
Yeah, man.
Hey, man. Welcome to the chat.
Yep.
All right. Hi.
What's up?
Hey.
I'm Caitlin Sinclair with Turning Point Action, the new spokeswoman. I hope your listeners can define a woman, Benny. So that's the title.
That apparently is the kryptonite question.
Yes.
Yeah.
Sir.
That sent the little boy, back to Georgia. All right. So interesting day today for the DNC. We've seen Hillary Clinton screaming about child abuse, and then running back again to Jeffrey Epstein's jet to go fly with Bill to a little St. James. And then we've seen Kamala Harris pop on, and again, a lot of screaming, a lot of yelling. You're a disaffected Democrat. You were part of the Draft Biden campaign and everything like that, but now you're Trump.
Oh yeah.
Now
absolutely.
you're like MAGA.
No, I worked for the Democratic Party going on 15, 20 years. Worked for the DNC, the DCCC, LMNOP, Alphabet Soup, everyone.
All right.
Yeah.
What can you explain that? Transition? Because you could be at an event right now where Hamas protesters are ripping the barricades down and coming after you.
Oh yeah, I'm glad I'm over here, not over there.
We got good security.
Oh yeah, no, so I was at the past 3 or 4 conventions. I mean, the main thing with me is with the Democratic Party, you have to agree with them 100% on everything.
Yeah.
If you sit there and say, oh no, I don't agree with you on this issue, they're like, oh no, you're a racist, you're a sexist, you're this, you're that. Then when you sit there and you just say, why? It's just like, just like how Charlie was saying, you just blow their mind. And they're like, oh, you just have to agree. Well, why do we have to agree with this? Why can't we question this? Why over here, do I have to agree with you 100% on every single issue overall? And at the end of the day, you sit here and you say, you just ask really basic questions. Like, one thing for me, I'm a new dad. I'm sitting there and I'm looking at the education system. I'm looking at public education. I'm looking at the school system. I'm looking at this and that and everything. And I'm looking at the same time, right now in the city of Chicago, down over there at the United Center where they are, let's just look at what they have. They have a fence around their perimeter. We don't have a fence at the border. They have their security. They have guns on their shoulder.
Yep.
I'm sorry. We don't, we cannot have our weapons that we want, and have the Second Amendment. And then at the same time, here in the city of Chicago, over 30 shootings happened. While all these police are have to be taken off so Kamala Harris can be doing this and doing that. And I've been working in the Democratic Party for years. And to be honest, I just got fed up. I just got fed up of just sitting there, and basically I just felt like I was in Pyongyang.
Good for you.
So you're like, this is very North Korea. We just have to believe
you just have to
everything
agree with the fearless leader.
Yeah.
And you just have to stand up and clap.
That's right. He got a hole in one, right?
Yep.
The rockets are gonna work. Yeah. All right. Well, that's pretty brave. Are you from Chicago?
So my wife, grew up here. We now live down in Texas, though.
Yeah. Okay. Fantastic. And you're here to and you're here in Chicago. What have you seen so far, from the street level?
I've seen a lot of people look at me like, oh, I know you.
Yeah, okay. A lot of the DNC guys.
Yep,
Okay.
I've seen a lot of that. I've been doing like a lot of media, just talking. But like the main thing is like, just like Chicago. I lived here for a while, and like the main thing is like, like especially in the Black community, if you sit here and then you say like, oh no, like with Kamala Harris, it's like the big question. You sit there, you're like, and you just sit there and you just ask the Black person, is Kamala Harris Black? And you just sit there and you have to wait for the response. I would say 60-70%, they're like, oh no. And then like, for the people who say, oh yes, he's Black, I always say the follow-up question, like, Bob Marley, do you consider them Black? And they're like, no, he's not Black. Then if you sit there and you look and then you talk to them and you analyze like, like the record going on, like with Kamala Harris and this and that and everything. And they're like, oh, she's going to be the first Black president. I'm like, she's not even Black. She's Indian American and she's Jamaican American. And then you sit there and you say that to the Black people. Then you sit there and you say like, what about your little daughter that like, like 15, 20 years from now, she wants to be president. And now you have this person who, when they were running for U.S. Senate, district attorney, this office, that office back in California, they always said they were the first Indian American. And then you know what? I sit there and say, that's great. Be the first Indian American. Be the first person of color. Be whatever you want to be. But don't sit here and use race and then like, just race bait, just to do it. And then the Democratic Party that sits here and says all the time at the same time, they sit here and they say, oh, we're the perfect party. We're the party of unity and everything. They're the party of unity. If you went down to the United Center, and you just saw the board of all the meetings, Black people over here, Asians over here, left-handed Mongolians over here, Labor Party over here.
It was all separated by.
It's like you just separate. It's like I'm like, are we in the 1950s over here?
Yeah. And then the protests.
Exactly.
It's not like the men in riot gear and all of the cops here were protecting Democrats and Joe Biden from ultra MAGA supporters. They're protecting them from their own voters, from Democrats.
It's ridiculous.
Party of unification, right?
Oh yeah.
It's not the party of unity because I don't think that they actually understand who their real base is. I don't think that they can get past the programming, right? The programming, we go onto the streets and we go, Kamala or Trump. And some people say Kamala. They go, Kamala. And you ask why. And the follow-up question, and we were the first people to do this. We did this like a year ago. In Tampa before we knew about the hot swap or anything else. Biggest Black fraternity in the country was in Tampa for their big conference. And we walked up and we were like, yo, Kamala Harris, how's she doing? And the guys were like, who? and then some of the guys who knew her, because there were some, and they're in the video, they're like, say, like, what's your favorite thing that she's ever done? And no one can tell you anything. Like, they can't explain that. But you go into MAGA and you're like, what's your favorite thing that Trump's done? And you get like 20, you get a list of 20 things, maybe 20 different things.
What I think is scary is the women, though. The women that you ask, who are you voting for? Automatically, Kamala. And then you press them harder. And I've done this with men on the street interviews. Yeah. Oh, why are you voting for her? Because she's a woman.
Because she's a woman. That's
and then,
crazy.
The same woman that can't define what a woman actually is, the same person that wants to put men in women's sports. And a lot of these females, Benny, don't even know. They're like, wait, what?
And then to take it a step further, then you sit there, then when you sit there and you talk about her record, and then you sit there and you're like, she's more liberal than Bernie Sanders. Just think about that. Then they sit there and say, oh, no, that's not the truth. And then you say, she was district attorney of San Francisco. She was? She did this in San Francisco. She did that in San Francisco. Oh. And you just hear silence.
Mm-hmm. They just stare at you.
Yeah.
It's kind of embarrassing, though. Like, it does prove that half the country can be brainwashed, or maybe about 30% of the country.
Well, I'm embarrassed to be a female. I'll just say it. Yeah, I'm embarrassed.
I don't get, like, okay, so if I was interviewed by the AP and they're like, why do you support Trump? And I go, because he's a man. And I'm a man. And men.
You may have to.
Right? Yeah. And then I take their microphone, right? And I crush it, right?
That's so powerful, Benny.
I throw it in the East River. It's like, that would go viral for all the wrong reasons. Mm-hmm. But we got that answer actually just yesterday from a couple of ladies that were like, Kamala, because she's a woman. So I don't get that. It seems very, very unfair.
No, I mean, I hope I don't get canceled. I think I'm allowed to say this. But
yeah,
I think it's the females that are responsible for the deterioration of our society right now. And it's so troubling. You look at this ticket. What are we voting for? Look at what's happening here just this week. You're
What are you
babies?
voting for? Nobody knows.
Killing babies on wheels, chopping off men's balls. Like, ladies, you don't want any men out there?
I
Like,
totally
what's going
endorse
on
that,
here?
by the way.
What's going on?
I want to say, this show totally endorses, if you're a Democrat man, get castrated, please. Yeah, we've got Warnock talking on stage now. Everyone looks bored as hell.
One thing I noticed too, if you look in, only half the room claps. So you have all these speeches, even when Hillary was speaking, you had half the room sitting down, and it's like, this is the Democratic National Convention, and Hillary Clinton, one of your big leaders, came out. You're supposed to be on a, like cheering and everything, and like half of them look like, they're like, oh, where are we? Like, what's going on?
There was also some mess ups with the teleprompter, which I just found hilarious.
Oh, really?
Yeah, like take teleprompters out of politics. I think we would, as a country, all do a lot better.
So, okay, what's up with young people? Everyone says that Trump's doing good with Gen Z. What do you think?
I think it's the young people, Gen Z especially. I'm a millennial, but the generation coming up behind me, which is Gen Z, I think it's the first generation in a long time that's asking those questions we're talking about. They're asking the whys, right? They're challenging the status quo. And the Gen Zers, they actually want to take this country back. They want the family unit again. They want God and faith as a centerpiece, and they really want a chance at the American dream. Remember, this is a generation that's grown up in this post 9/11 era, right?
Yes.
Where we've just grown up with endless wars, with debt hanging over our head, men addicted to porn and vapes, and zero chance at the American dream.
Yes.
So I really think Gen Zers are finally, and I think it was COVID that really fast-tracked all of this, but they're finally asking the right questions. They want to escape the matrix. They want to have babies. They want to have real relationships.
Because that's punk rock.
That's right.
That's actually like, that's what being a rebel means.
And that's why it's up to the fraternity brothers to save this country.
Yeah, that's right. The dudes with the American flag.
That's
Yeah,
right.
That's
right. But so I think Gen Z is supporting Donald Trump. I do. Especially the men. I think I'm worried about the girls in this country, the young white women.
Yeah. Swifties, not so much. I know that there's some Swifties for Trump out there, but I don't know
I'm
if
the
it's
most
going to become a movement.
anti-Swiftie you possibly could know.
All right. Black men have also, like, by and large, broken out of a typical trajectory for black men during an election and are voting Trump to like the 30% margin. I mean, which is crazy in some polls, which is insane. And something that we regularly find when we're doing man on the streets is dudes come up and they're like, yeah, Trump's my boy. Trump's my dog. We had more money under Trump. That's it, right? And that seems to, what's crazy is that I don't want to like classify people, but that's all that you got to do, right? As a president, is bring back those vibes. And people have lived through the last 4 years, and that's why this moment is kind of like enraging, because like people have actually lived through the last 4 years of Kamala Harris as president, and they want more of it, which I think is insane.
Well, like the crazy thing too is like, I think the turning point overall for the Democratic Party, 2016 in Michigan, going back even before like the general election, but back in the primary. When Bernie Sanders won that state, Hillary Clinton was supposed to get it in the landslide. It was, that's what was going to happen. Then like when he flipped that state, then, like the Democratic Party, they like got a little bit worried. But then when Trump was doing the work down in Michigan, then like that's where the Democratic Party got worried. Like something is up, because you got like the automobile factory is evident in like Michigan and evident, and then you actually, I remember I forget the senator's name, but it's the female senator out of Michigan, the Democrat. She actually sat there and called the DNC and said, "We need help out here." The Democratic Party, they're like, "Oh no, this is not a battleground state. We're not going to like focus here." But then, and that's the issue overall with the Democratic Party. They think they have these blue states over here that they could just leave alone and then like do nothing. Yeah. Perfect example, look at Chicago. Like just how you're walking down the street and those conversations, people saying, "Oh no, I'm not, I'm not going to be doing that." And you have the party that just sits there and says, "We don't have to do anything." How long has Democrats controlled the city of Chicago itself? And then you sit here and you just see what's going on. Yeah. You just see what's going on. Like
I'm from New York. It's happening in New York.
Exactly.
There's a shift there.
When Trump went to Brooklyn, you saw when he went to New York City, you saw the same thing there as well. It's coming up instead of like
the Bronx rally.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Sorry about it.
Huge.
Yeah.
Hey, come on, don't disrespect.
But yeah, when that rally happened, that should have like set off like a light bulb. Like there's something going on. Instead, people just you just have like the elites, I guess, just ignoring it overall.
Trump went to Harlem and the Bronx.
That's right.
And got thousands of people there Bigger than any AOC rally I've ever seen.
Oh, I mean, yeah, those folks in the Bronx, they spoke to us directly. They've never seen AOC.
Did you go to that?
Oh, of course I went.
Did
I had way too much fun.
Did it really? What was it like? We got some footage here.
I'm a born and raised New Yorker, 5th generation. So to see this shift just in the past 3.5 years, if I was coming home, guys, from that rally that night. It was very late. I had my MAGA hat on. I was half asleep, walking. And I was getting all these, let's go. I was like, oh my God, I must look so good tonight. Totally forgot I had my hat on still. When I remembered, I got this pit in my stomach. And I was like, oh my God. Because 3 years ago, there's absolutely no way I could have walked 10 blocks of New York City and not got harassed, especially, female walking alone, wearing a MAGA hat. But that wasn't the case. So I almost ripped it off my head. And then I realized, wait a minute, I've only gotten praise. That's huge. It's a simple little story, but that's huge for New York City.
So you can wear MAGA hats now.
Yeah.
You well, I see MAGA hats here in Chicago. One of the first things we saw on the street was a good dude in a MAGA hat, and he was like, "F Jesse Smollett." That's what he said. he's like, I don't care if it hurts your feelings. Like, I'm wearing my MAGA hat in Chicago.
I think MAGA has a new meaning overall. Because I think, just like people overall, they sat there, they understand, I call it Trump 1.0, 2.0. The first administration, they saw the economic boom. They saw where they were. They saw their families. Everything was going on. Then they had Joe.
Yep.
Now they're sitting there, they're like, we want to make America great again.
Yeah.
We want to go back to what we had underneath Trump. And I think that's why, it's, people are more coming out and saying that.
Yeah, well, I think Trump 2.0 is the forgotten American, right? Yeah. And it kind of goes back to what you were saying before when everything shifted. Now, look who is representative of the Democrat Party. They're paying influencers. They're hiring Hollywood liberals to come twerk.
They're begging, yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
They're begging the biggest streamers, and the reports are that it's like $500,000 for some of the biggest, like Kai Cenat.
These videos are so good.
Some of the biggest
they're
streamers.
Like, nah.
Yeah, they all say no to Kamala.
That's when you know.
Do you think the Joe Biden brand is so bad that it's gonna tank it?
What's the brand? Where's the merch? I mean, I genuinely don't. I don't see.
I'm sure you can pack a bunch of, you can go to SeaWorld, right? And you bring out the sardines and the seals clap to them, right? And they'll do tricks. And you got a bunch of seals, and there's going to be a bunch of people at the United Center, right? And they're paid to sit there and clap. And their paychecks are literally tied to it. So, whatever. But I don't think people are actually buying it. I don't know. Maybe people are that dumb. But you do realize that she was president, right? You do realize these last 4 years, of
course,
all of it's her fault.
This is a honeymoon. It's a sugar high. I mean, how much dopamine and adrenaline are you going to have, in a few more weeks when you have to pay your groceries, fill up your gas tank, and walk the streets, and you don't feel safe? So this sugar high can't last for much longer.
Dude, women go and complain about all this stuff that they vote for.
Oh, it's my favorite.
I'm so upset. I'm scared. It's like, dude, you voted for this.
The best,
what's the deal?
The best one was there was this viral TikTok trend going around of men punching random women in the streets of Manhattan.
Sure.
And my amazing girlfriends were writing in our group chats, liberals, guys, I don't feel safe. I can't walk the streets. I don't feel safe. I was like, you guys voted for this. Do we correlate anything, ladies? Come on, girls. And no one understands. So, I mean, I punch back. I would love to get hit. I would love for someone to try to punch me in the streets.
That's a New Yorker in her.
Yeah, I hope you are armed. I would not ever allow I have 2 daughters. I would never allow them to go to New York. I would never allow them to go move to New York or do anything like that. It's so horribly unsafe.
No, but seriously, these ladies aren't correlating that this is who you voted for, and then they're still like, oh, Kamala, that's my girl.
She's gonna save everything.
It's very Stockholm syndrome.
Right.
Right. It's very oh, my captors, they are the greatest, and they're the people hurting you, and they don't understand that they're the subjects of this horrible experiment, this horrible test. And the person shocking you is the scientist. And it's Stockholm syndrome. It's totally depraved.
I don't know how we save the women though, or if we even bother trying, right? It's focus on more of the low propensity voters that are maybe males. We can't.
I mean, I know plenty of Trump moms in my neighborhood, and
okay, so that's different, right? I'm talking young women.
Yeah.
Once you're a mom, and once you upset a mama bear, look at what the moms in this country are doing now. They're attending the school board meetings. They know what's going on. They're putting food on the table, right? They're worried about the indoctrination that's going on in the classroom for their kids. So once you upset a mama bear, they don't care about party lines. They don't care about red versus blue. They don't see issues like that anymore. It's like, this is my child, and I will vote however it takes.
But the issue, I think, overall, it just starts kind of like you're saying, like in the colleges overall, just like, with the Democratic Party and like the liberal ideology, they just go after them right then and there. And that's where like it just kind of grabs them right away instead of like, and that's the issue overall that we just have to address, I feel.
Right.
So we got Jill Biden finally coming up here. It is 11:15 Eastern Standard Time, which is unbelievable. They're going to put Joe Biden. This is insane.
It's way past his 8 p.m.
So they're going to put Joe Biden on stage. Here we go. They got some video, I guess, or some, weird girl on stage.
Any twerking?
Yeah, I didn't know. No twerking yet.
Damn, I'm out.
I know. We've been waiting for Jill Biden twerking on stage in some dress that looks like she stole a bath curtain from Bed Bath & Beyond and a bargain sale.
Okay, that's another thing that's been bothering me. Speaking of, why is Kamala Harris the first female that could be president? Why doesn't she dress like a girl?
See, they have a masked kid up doing it. Like,
well,
that was like a kid with a mask. Okay. Dr. Jill Biden. What's she doctor of exactly? Okay. Well, looks like we're going to get our Dr. Jill Biden. Okay, here we go. Remember, Joe, you answered all the questions.
You did so
Joe,
good.
you answered all the questions. Oh, boy. No, less of a bath curtain. Looks kind of
like a latex.
Looks like a shower floor.
They're giving those out in the vasectomy buses, actually.
Yeah, that's right. Okay, here we go. We got Jill.
Thank you.
We got yes, Lady Macbeth here. This is what they promised her. They promised her
Thank
they
you.
hold little green signs with their
Thank you
name
so
on
much.
them.
Love you too.
The eternal humiliation of her family.
Joe and I have been together for almost 50 years.
Yeah, since you ruined his marriage.
And
You remember when you were
still,
married? When you first met
there
Joe?
are moments when I fall in love with him all over again.
Just like your first husband?
Like when I handed him our baby Ashley for the first time and saw the smile that lit up his face. Or on nights after an exhausting day working in the Senate, when he would read one more bedtime story just because the kids asked.
Wow.
When he stops on a rope line because he sees someone grieving who needs to know that everything is going to be all right one day. Or to encourage that child with a stutter to find the confidence she needs. Those moments when I'm reminded of all he's accomplished in the name of something bigger than himself. Receiving the Medal of Freedom with humility.
Oh, yeah, Joe Biden, humble. That's the word I'd use, actually, for Joe Biden, who answered every question.
Placing his hand on our family Bible to take his oath of office.
Placing his nose on the head of every child.
And weeks ago, when I saw him dig deep into his soul and decide to no longer seek re-election and endorse Kamala Harris.
Oh, wow, that must have been. This is actually so sad. It's actually so painful.
It was like a eulogy.
This is so unbelievably painful. Oh,
With
oh, it's
faith and
awful.
conviction, Joe
looks like he's in
knows
pain.
that our nation's strength doesn't come from intimidation or cruelty. It comes from the small acts of kindness that heal deep wounds, from service to the communities that make us who we are, from love of a country that shines with promise and renewal. Kamala Harris knows that too.
Huh? She's wearing saran wrap, like
Our
bedazzled
son, Bo,
saran
first
wrap.
worked with Kamala when he was Attorney General of Delaware. He told me at the dinner table one night, "Mom, she's special. Someone to keep your eye on." And he was right. Joe and I know Kamala. We have seen her courage, her determination, and her leadership up close. Kamala and Tim, you will win.
Look at that. Goofy ass Tim Walz.
And you are inspiring a new generation. We are all a part of something bigger than ourselves, and we are stronger than we know. The future of our country is in the hands of those in this room and all of you watching at home. It's going to take all of us, and we can't afford to lose. With faith in each other, hope for a brighter future, and love for our country, we will fight and we will win together. Thank you.
You answered every question. Joe. This is it. Okay, good. They play a hit from about 20 years ago, which is the last time, again, that the Bidens were relevant. This is it. Who sings that song? Love You Like I Should? Oh, good boy. Here we go. We got Elvis, heroin Elvis. All right. This is Ashley Biden.
I have this memory.
Reading from her diary, I think.
It's the eve of my 8th birthday.
Shower
Dad
time.
is still in D.C., tending to urgent matters in the Senate. That night, as a surprise, Mom told me, Bo, and Hunter to get in the car. I remember pulling up to the Wilmington Amtrak station, riding up the escalator to the platform. The train stops, doors open, and Dad steps out.
Wow.
As soon as I saw him, I run down that platform and jump into his arms. Like magic, Mom brought out a cake, they sang happy birthday, and I blew out the candles. Dad hugged me, and he said that he had to get back to work. He crossed to the southbound train, and off he went to D.C. That was a snapshot of
My
one
dad
moment
abandoned me on my birthday.
On this extraordinary journey of being Joe Biden's daughter.
My dad abandoned me on my birthday after shower time.
No
Sad.
No gifts.
Joe Biden is the
My dad's
OG
an asshole.
girl dad.
Huh?
He told me I could be anything and I could do anything. As a child, I would sit on the leather chair in his office doing my homework, and he would sit next to me doing his work, drafting the Violence Against Women Act.
Oh, got it. Okay. Well, then why did my dad allow me to go to rehab? Why did my dad allow me to become a drug addict?
I could see, and he wasn't just a girl dad, I could see that he valued and trusted women.
She reads the prompter like Joe. You can tell this is Joe. No DNA test needed.
How he believed in his sister. And most of all, how he respected my mother's career. Dad was always there, doing everything he could to be a true partner to her. Dad, you always tell us, but we don't tell you enough, that you are the love of our lives and the life of our love.
Thank you for abandoning. It's like a Hallmark card. Thank you for abandoning us on our birthdays.
I had my wedding reception in my parents' backyard. At the time, my dad was vice president. But he was also that dad who literally set up the entire reception. He was riding around in his John Deere four-wheeler, fixing the place settings, arranging the plants, and by the way, he was very emotional. I thought that I would be a mess, but he was the one crying, and I was the one who had to comfort him. Before he walked me down the aisle, he turned to me and said that he would always be my best friend. All these years later, Dad, you are still my best friend. His example in service inspired my career. I'm a social worker in Philadelphia.
You've done a terrible job. Philadelphia's in shambles.
I support formerly incarcerated women as they heal from past trauma and they reclaim their lives.
Lady, you just got out of rehab like a few months ago.
Dad
so how's
always
that
told
possible?
me that I was no better than anybody else and nobody was better than me. He taught me that everyone deserves a fair shot and that we shouldn't leave anyone behind. That's what you learn from a fighter who has been underestimated his entire life. When I look at Dad, I see grace, strength, and humility. I see one of the most consequential leaders ever in history.
Really? Well, you're paid to say that.
And I also know that he never stops thinking about you, about your dreams, about your dignity, about your opportunities, about your family. Dad knows that family is everything. When Hunter and I lost our brother Bo to cancer in 2015, the grief and the pain felt like it might never end. Dad had the capacity to step out of his own pain and absorb ours. And I know that Bo is here with us tonight, as he is always with us. After Bo passed, I got this tattoo on my wrist. It says, "Courage, dear heart." A reminder to myself to keep going, to get back up, like my dad has always done. He has taught me that a courageous heart is a miraculous thing. A courageous heart can heal a family. A courageous heart can heal a nation, and maybe even the world. And now, this election requires the courageous hearts of all of us. In 2020, my dad selected Kamala Harris to beat Donald Trump. And he knows in 2024, she will beat Donald Trump again.
Why is she sniffing so much? Why do you sound like Joan Rivers?
Runs in a family.
Yeah. Man.
So tonight, I am asking you, if you stood with us in 2020, call upon your courageous heart. Stand with us today. Work harder than you have ever worked before in your life. This is the fight of our lifetime. Our freedom, our democracy, our reproductive rights. All of this, all of it is on the ballot. And I know together we can do this because my dad helped show us the way.
Oh yeah, he's done such a great job. He did such a great job that he dropped out.
And now, I would like to
He was forced out by his own party.
My father, your 46th President of the United States, Joe Biden.
Why not Hunter? Oh my goodness. Oh no. Oh, don't kiss her on the mouth. Oh, gross. Oh, that was weird. Okay. No, let's just play. What they're gonna play it. Okay, Motown. Yeah, all right. Oh no. What is going on? So painful. Let go of her. What here? Minnesota! They're so weird. It's such a cult. Oh no. Look at what they're doing. This is what they promised him. They said, we'll force you to speak on the first night of the convention.
Thank you.
We'll get these little placards with your name on it. Where's Hunter? Where's Jim Perry? Which Biden is this? I'm pretty sure, you can see the chin. I'm pretty sure it's number 4. Number 4 is my favorite. Followed by number 7.
Thank you.
I love the guy that was crying.
Thank you.
Who weeps for Joe Biden? Could you imagine cheering for this criminal? Dude, you can tell this is gonna be so messed up.
Thank you.
Joe Biden so wants to be in bed right now. He has no idea where he is. He's gonna do something crazy. He's gonna like take his shoes off, do a somersault. Tell everybody he ordered the hit on Trump.
Thank you, thank you, thank you.
One of the most despised, least popular,
Least effective.
truly so humiliating to his own party and to his own people that he dropped out before standing for the election, after saying that God couldn't even get him to drop out.
Thank you. I love you. Thank you.
So wait, if they love him so much, if he's getting all these cheers, why doesn't Joe just announce he's running for president again? Joe, just say you're running for president. You have the chance to do the funniest thing ever. Say you're not dropping out.
No.
Summer
Actually, it's showtime. Thank you.
Thank you, Joe. Actually, AI Joe Biden. Yep, sure. All right, boys, the chat is rolling. Let's go, baby. Let's go, Brandon. Get your Let's Go Brandons out. I want to see some Let's Go Brandons in the chat. Okay? Let's Go Brandons in the chat. Give me some LGBs in the chat.
Thank you, Mitchell.
Let's get them out while we got them.
I tell you what.
Look at my new teeth. Give me your best. Let's go, Brandon.
To my dearest daughter,
Why is
Ashley.
he yelling?
Yeah.
God love you. You're incredible.
The meds.
Thank you for the introduction. And for being my courageous heart, along with Hunter and our
I think
entire
they did the
family.
teleprompter in all caps.
And especially our
Oh, where's
rock,
Hunter?
Jill.
Where's Hunter?
Who, as those of you who know us, she still leaves me both breathless and speechless. Everybody knows her. I love her more than she loves me. She walks down the stairs and I still get that going boom, boom, boom. You all will know me. No, not kidding. Let's give a special round of applause to our First Lady, Jill Biden.
It's not Jill that leaves you
My
speechless,
dad.
Joe. It's the dementia.
My dad used to have an expression, for real. He'd say, Joey, family is the beginning, the middle, and the end. And I love you all. Folks. And America, I love you.
That's convincing.
That was very convincing. That's very painful. It seemed painful.
Folks.
Bitter, angry.
Let me ask you.
Joe Biden's pissed. Joe Biden's pissed. He knows it. These people, oh, they love him so much, they dumped him from the ticket. They forced him to resign. That's how much they love him. This is, oh man, what a
Let me ask you.
Shakespearean Macbeth
Are you ready
level
to vote for freedom?
cringe.
Are you ready to vote for democracy and for America? Let me ask you. Are you ready to elect Kamala Harris and Tim Walz, President and Vice President of the United States?
It's like an Anchorman character.
My fellow Democrats,
Yelling.
my fellow Americans, nearly 4 years ago, in winter, on the steps of the Capitol, on a cold January day, I raised my right hand and I swore an oath to you and to God to preserve, protect, and defend the Constitution and to faithfully execute the office of the President of the United States. In front of me,
He sounds bad, man.
in front of me was the city surrounded by the National Guard.
Oh gosh.
Behind me,
Oh, here we go.
a Capitol just 2 weeks before had been overrun by a violent mob.
Oh, it was like a 7
What I
minute.
knew
it's like
then,
the second line of the
bottom
script.
of my heart that I knew now.
They have nothing else to go to.
There is no place in America for political violence. None.
What about the summer of love?
You cannot say you love your country only when you win. In that moment, I wasn't looking to the past. I was looking to the future. I spoke of the work at hand, the moment we had to meet. It was, as I told you then, a winter of peril and possibility. Of peril and possibility. We're in the grip of a once-in-a-century pandemic, historic joblessness, a call for racial justice long overdue, clear and present threats to our very democracy. Thank you.
It's protesters is what's going on. So they're taught to chant like sheep when there's protest. This Hamas whole.
Oh, that's a perfect there.
Yeah.
Well, I didn't see you produce
And I believe then,
That was a great shot.
and I believe now, that progress was and is possible. Justice is achievable. And our best days are not behind us, they're before us.
Why is he yelling? Like, bro, like, he's yelling because he's furious. He's yelling because he's actually pissed. He's
Now
yelling 'cause
it's
he's
summer.
pissed.
The winter is past. And with a grateful heart, I stand before you now on this August night to report that democracy has prevailed.
Wait.
Democracy has delivered. And now democracy must be preserved.
So he talks about political violence and doesn't mention that Trump just ate a bullet 2 weeks ago.
What, a
3 weeks.
protesters down the street from him? Like,
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, that's
You've heard
exactly
me
right.
say it before. We're facing an inflection point. One of those rare moments in history when the decisions we make now will determine the fate of our nation and the world for decades to come. That's not hyperbole. I mean it literally.
Sure.
We're in a battle for the very soul of America.
they always say
I
that.
ran for president in 2020 because of what I saw in Charlottesville in August of 2017. Extremists coming out of the woods, carrying torches, their veins bulging from their necks, carrying Nazi swastikas, and chanting the same exact anti-Semitic bile that was heard in Germany in the early 30s. Neo-Nazis, white supremacists, and the Ku Klux Klan, so emboldened by a president then in the White House that they saw as an ally. They didn't even bother to wear their hoods. Hate was on the march in America. Old ghosts in new garments, stirring up the oldest divisions, stoking the oldest fears, giving oxygen to the oldest forces that they long sought to tear apart America. In the process, a young woman was killed. When I contacted her mother, I asked about what happened. She told me. When the president was asked what he thought had happened, Donald Trump said, and I quote, "There are very fine people on both sides."
I can't believe it. They're going with.
That's what he said.
They're going with the
That is
hoax.
what he said and what he meant.
They're going with
That's
the
when
hoax.
I realized.
This is incredible. Wow.
Had to listen to the admonition of my dead son. I could not stay in the sidelines.
This has been
So I ran.
debunked time and time again. PolitiFact debunked this.
That's all they have.
Because I had no intention of running again. I just lost part of my soul. But I ran with a deep conviction. In America, I know and believe in an America where honesty, dignity, decency still matter. An America where everyone has a fair shot and hate has no safe harbor.
Dude, this is the weirdest, angriest, most twisted speech. Like he's like yelling the speech.
An America where the
It's like,
fundamental
he's like
creed of
bitter
this
and
nation,
angry.
Well, he is.
that all of us are created equal, is still very much alive. And a broad coalition of Americans joined with me. 81 million voters voted for us.
There's no way
More
in
than any
hell.
time in all of history.
There is no way in hell, dude. No.
Because of all of
Wait.
you in this room and
You even
others.
heard him like mess
we
it up.
came
He's like,
together in
what's the
2020.
Yeah,
number
that's
again?
right.
Save democracy.
Bro, you're so popular, you dropped out. You
As your
quit.
president, I've been determined to keep America moving forward, not going back. To stand against hate and violence in all its forms. To be a nation where we not only live with but thrive on diversity.
Oh, there you go. Okay. Here we
Demonizing no one.
go. Here we go. He's losing it.
Leaving no one behind.
Except the
Becoming
13
a nation
in
that we
Afghanistan.
profess to be. I also ran to rebuild the backbone of America, the middle class.
Oh, you've done a great job with that, really. Yeah, you've done an amazing job, truly.
I made a commitment to you that I'd be a president for all Americans,
Then you quit.
whether you voted for me or not. We have done that. Studies show
More
the major
protesters.
bills we have passed actually delivered more to red states than blue. Because the job of the president is to deliver to all of America.
Oh, there.
Because of you, and I'm not exaggerating, because of you,
Oh, man.
we've had one of the most extraordinary 4 years of progress ever. Period.
Bro, you dropped out because you were
When I
you
say
were
we,
less
I
popular
mean
than ass
Kamala and
cancer.
me.
Bro, you dropped out. You quit. Your party
think about
forced
it.
you to quit.
COVID no longer controls our lives.
COVID
We've
no
gone
longer
from
controls.
economic crisis to the strongest economy in the entire world. Record 16 million new jobs. Record small business growth. Record high stock market. Record high 401ks. Wages up. And inflation down, way down, and
What country is he
continuing to go
speaking about?
down.
Yeah, I mean, it's like not.
The smallest racial wealth gap in 20 years.
Everyone's
And
poor.
yes, we both know we have more to do, but we're moving in the right direction. More Americans have peace of mind that comes from having health insurance. More Americans have health insurance today than ever before in American history. And after, as a young senator beginning to fight for 50 years to give Medicare the power to negotiate low prescription drug prices, we finally beat Big Pharma.
We beat Medicare. We beat Medicare. We beat.
And guess who cast the tie-breaking vote? Vice President, soon-to-be President Kamala Harris.
Dude, he's so this is such horrible delivery.
Just tell him.
And now
Horrible
it's the law of the land. Instead of paying $400 a month for insulin, seniors with diabetes will pay $35 a month. The law we passed already includes, starting in January, every senior's total prescription cost can be capped at $2,000 no matter how expensive the drugs they have. And what we don't focus on, and our Republican friends don't seem to understand, our reforms don't just save seniors money, they save the American taxpayers money.
Huh?
You know what we just passed saves? It saved $160 billion over the next decade. That's not hyperbole. It's because Medicare no longer has to pay those exorbitant prices to the big pharma. But look,
we beat
thank
Medicare.
you, Kamala, too.
We beat Medicare.
Look, folks.
Oh no, he's so confused.
How can we have the strongest economy in the world without the best infrastructure in the world?
Jim Carrey needs to dial it back a bit.
Donald Trump promised Infrastructure Week every
Carrey in
week
a
for
mask.
4 years, and he never built a damn thing.
Trump never built a damn thing. We are literally broadcasting from Trump Tower.
But now, because
you
of what
jack
Kamala had
wagon.
done,
It's imaginary. We're not
remember
here.
we were told we
that's
couldn't
right.
get it done. Remember when we came in office, we couldn't get anything passed? But right now, we're giving America an infrastructure decade, not week. We're modernizing our roads, our bridges, our ports, our airports, our trains, our buses. Removing every lead pipe from schools and homes so every child can drink clean water. We're providing affordable high-speed internet for every American, no matter where they live, not unlike what Roosevelt did with electricity. And so much more. We are uniting the country. We're growing
Bring
our
out corn
economy.
pop.
We're improving our quality of life. And we're building a better America.
It'd be amazing to have the final battle. If Corn Pop comes out, dude, if Corn Pop comes out and they have the
That's
final
who we
battle on
are.
stage.
My money's on
How
Corn
can we
Pop,
be
I'm
the
sorry.
strongest nation in the world without leading the world in science and technology? After years of importing 90% of our semiconductor chips from abroad, which America invented those chips, our Chips and Science Act meant that private companies from around the world are now investing literally tens of billions of dollars to build new chip factories right here in America. And over that period, they'll create tens of thousands of jobs. And many of those jobs in the so-called fabs, the buildings that make the chips, that's being constructed now. And guess what? The average salary in those fabs, size of a football field, will be over $100,000 a year, and you don't need a college degree.
Oh, man. This is
Because
so
of you,
dumb.
and so many electeds out there. American manufacturing is back. Where the hell to say we wouldn't lead the world in manufacturing?
He's
800,000
drunk, man. He,
new
sounds
manufacturing
drunk.
jobs.
He's slurring, he's wobbling, his tone's all off. His
Our
meds are all
Republican
off.
friends and others
His eyes are all glassy.
made sure they'd go abroad to get the cheapest labor. We used to import products and export jobs. Now we export American products and create American jobs.
Yeah, dude.
Right here in America.
His meds, man. His meds
Where
are
jobs
Him
belong.
and Kamala drank together before this. 100%.
With every new job.
He just reminds me of Grandpa
With
Simpson.
every new
you know?
factory.
Yeah, that's right. Old
Pride
man yells
and
at cloud.
hope
Yeah.
is being brought back to communities throughout the country that were left behind. You know you're from them, many of you. You know what it's like when that factory closed, where your mother, your father, your grandmother, grandfather worked. And now you're back, providing once again, proving that Wall Street didn't build America, the middle class built America, and unions built the middle class.
What he's trying to do, he's trying to do like, no, I have so much energy. I'm Joe. I'm with energy. I'm Energy Joe. I'm so forceful, but it's like the tone's
It's been my
all
view
off.
since I came to the Senate.
It's
That's
it's
why
so
I'm proud
forced.
to have been the first president to walk a picket line. And be labeled the most pro-union president in history, and I accept it. That's a fact.
Now he's banging his fist on the podium. It's great. This is exactly what it should.
Because when
Yeah,
unions
yeah,
do
yeah.
well, we all do well. You got it, man. You got it.
Oh my God. Very Batman villain look.
I agree. I'm proud. Look, remember he told we couldn't get anything done because we couldn't get anything done in the Congress? Well, with your support, we passed the most significant climate law in the history of mankind. Over $370 billion. Cutting carbon emissions in half by 2030. Launching a climate corps, similar to AmeriCorps and Peace Corps, creating tens of thousands of jobs for young people of the future who are going to make sure this continues. Creating hundreds of thousands of jobs in clean energy for American workers, including the IBEW installing 500,000 charging stations all across America.
Oh man. Ooh. I love the crowd shots.
And in the process,
I love the crowd shots. The
reducing carbon emissions.
literal Democrat memes.
And we're seeing it. We're seeing to it that the first beneficiaries of environmental initiatives are those fence-line communities that have been smothered by the legacy of pollution. Louisiana and Delaware, Route 9, all the factories, all those chemical factories are right next to the poorest neighborhoods. They're the ones we're going to bring back.
Loud noises!
And
Why
how?
are you yelling, Britt? I love
How
Atlanta.
can we be the greatest nation in the world without the best education system in the world? Donald Trump and the Republican friends, they not only can't think, they can't read very well.
Bro.
Seriously, think about
A
it.
teleprompter, my guy.
Look at their Project 2025.
He's not on script at
Wanna
all. That
do away with
teleprompter
the
guy's
Department
like,
of
I give up.
Education.
Yeah, that's right. This is
Well,
you
during
can
the
see it.
pandemic-
It's dangerous. He's in dangerous territory.
Kamala and I helped states and cities get back their schools back open. And we gave public school teachers a raise. We created
Dude, why are you
apprenticeships,
blowing us a
businesses,
kiss?
communities,
Get away.
putting students
It's
on a
so
path to a
creepy.
good paying job, whether or not they go to college.
The way he's sounding,
by the
it kind
way,
of,
we're
like, I
making
kind of want him
college a
at the
hell of
end
a
just
lot
to be
more
like, and I'm still
affordable.
running for president.
Yeah, you
They kind of
do
have
it.
to tell him that he's not.
Increasing Pell Grants by $900.
No, you're not doing
You
it
have the
anymore.
chance to do the funniest thing.
Over $15 billion to HBCUs.
Say, wow, you've done so much great work.
Minority
Joe.
service,
Run for president again.
including Hispanic institutions.
I think Dr. Biden
Tribal
forgot to tell him
colleges.
he's not running anymore.
We kept our commitment to provide more student relief than ever by lifting the burden of helping millions of families so they could get married, start a family, buy a home, and begin to build family wealth and contribute to the community and grow our economy. It's not costing us, it's creating more wealth. We've fundamentally transformed how our economy grows, from the middle out and the bottom up instead of the top down. You know, my dad used to say there wasn't a whole hell of a lot to drop down on my kitchen table at the end of the month. I come from a basic middle-class family, 3-bedroom house, 4 kids, a grandpop living with us, decent neighborhood, but never a penny to spare. And look, that top-down notion never worked. A lot of Democrats didn't think it worked, thought it worked, but it doesn't. And when we did all that, what we've done, everybody can do well. Everybody.
Dude, he's like missing every
Donald
line.
Trump
He's slurring.
calls
here we
America a failing nation.
go. Yeah.
No, I'm serious. But think about this. Think about this.
No, I'm serious,
He
folks.
publicly says to the whole world, I'm going to say something outrageous. I know more foreign leaders by their first names and know them well than anybody alive. Just because I'm so damn old.
Yes, he admitted it.
But I'm not joking. Think of the message he sends around the world when he talks
like
about
human
America being a
Wojak
failing
memes.
nation. He says we're losing. He's the loser. He's dead wrong. Many of you are very successful people who travel the world. Name me a country in the world that doesn't think we're the leading nation in the world. Without America, not a joke, think about it. I'm being literal. Who could lead the world other than the United States of America?
Ah.
Well, guess
Blood
what?
alone moves the wheels of
America's
time.
winning, and the world's better off for it. America's more prosperous, and Americans are safer today than under Donald Trump. Trump continues to lie about crime in America, like everything else. Guess what? On his watch, the murder rate went up 30%, the biggest increase in history. Meanwhile, we made the largest investment, Kamala and I, in public safety ever. Now, the murder rate is falling faster than any time in history. Violent crime has dropped to the lowest level in more than 50 years. And crime will keep coming down when we put a prosecutor in the Oval Office instead of a convicted felon.
Yeah, there you go. Look, these cutaways to the crowds.
And folks, the distinguished senator from the C Senate from California and I passed the first ban on assault weapons. And guess what? It worked. If we care about public safety, we need to prevent gun violence. And what makes me ashamed when I travel the world, which I do, more children in America are killed by a gunshot than any other cause in the United States. More die from a bullet than cancer, accidents, or anything else in the United States of America. My God. That's why Kamala and I are proud. We beat the NRA when we passed the first major bipartisan gun safety law in 30 years.
She's so angry that he said Kamala and I. They're like, don't mention that she's your vice president.
Now it's time to ban assault weapons again.
Dude's shaking. The dude's shaking.
And demand universal background checks. It's hard. I never thought I'd stand before a crowd of Democrats and refer to a president as a liar so many times. No, I'm not trying to be funny. It's sad. Trump continues to lie about the border. Here's what he won't tell you. Trump killed the strongest bipartisan border deal in the history of the United States. that we negotiated with the Senate Republicans took 4 weeks. Once it passed, and never acknowledged the most expansive border change in American history, he called senators to say, don't support the bipartisan bill, because he said it would help me politically and hurt him politically. My God. No, I'm serious. Think about it. Not a joke. Ask even the press who doesn't like me. They'll tell you that's true. Typically, Trump, once again, putting himself first and America last. Then I had to take executive action. The result of the executive action I took, border encounters have dropped over 50%. In fact, there are fewer border crossings today than when Donald Trump left office.
Bro, it's midnight
And unlike
Eastern
Trump,
Standard Time.
we will not demonize immigrants, saying they're the poison of blood of America. Poison the blood of our country. Kamala and I are committed to strengthening legal immigration, including protecting dreamers and more.
He's cooked. He's actually defending his immigration policy. This is remarkable.
And here's what else I believe in. Protecting your freedom to vote, your freedom to love who you love. And your freedom to choose. In its decision overturning Roe v. Wade, as you heard earlier tonight, the United States Supreme Court majority wrote the following, quote, women are not without electoral or political power.
Good job, dude.
No kidding.
Really, you got it. You did it.
MAGA Republicans found out the power of women in 2022.
Women are not without electrical
Donald
power.
Trump is going to find out
Women
the
have
power
electricity.
Of women in 2024.
So do you plug them in at night? Like, how does this work?
You gotta ask Joe.
And where Trump and his mega Republican right-wingers seek to erase history, we Democrats continue to write history and make more history. I'm proud to have kept my commitment to appoint the first black woman in the United States Supreme Court. Ketanji Brown Jackson, a symbol for every young woman in America that you can do anything.
DEI hire.
I'm proud that I've kept my commitment to have an administration that looks like America and that taps in to the full talent of our nation.
Yeah.
The most diverse cabinet in history, including the first black woman of South Asian descent to serve as vice president.
Black
and will
woman
soon
of South
serve
Asia.
as the 47th president of the United
You
States.
don't know geography where Africa is? It's down in Asia.
Yeah, I don't understand.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you know?
that's good. That's good. Okay, now I see what they did there.
She is good. Look. Thank you, Kamala. Folks.
Oh man.
I've long said we have many obligations as a nation, but I got in trouble years ago for saying I'd make no apologies. We have only one truly sacred obligation: to prepare and equip those we send to war and care for them and their families when they come home and when they don't. That's why I'm so proud to have written and signed the PACT Act, one of the most significant laws ever, helping veterans and their families exposed to toxic materials like burn pits in Agent Orange. I was around during the Vietnam War.
Yes, we
It's
know.
hard. Nobody was able to prove that there's illness was a consequence of Agent Orange. And no one was able to prove initially that because they lived in burn pits like my son lived next to in Iraq for a year, that is the cause of their illness. But because of the PACT Act, a surviving spouse with 2 children is now eligible for a stipend of about $3,000 a month. And those children who lost a parent are eligible for tuition benefits to go to college and to get job training. It's already helping over 1 million veterans and their families just so far. Well, I love them, and I'm so proud of my son's service. We get it. But guess who doesn't get it and doesn't respect our veterans?
Tim Walz.
We know from his own chief of staff, the 4-star General John Kelly, that Trump, when in Europe, would not go to the grave sites in France. The brave service members who gave their lives to this country. He called them suckers and losers. Who in the hell does he think he is?
Another
Who does he think he is?
Oh my gosh. Dude, seriously, tone it down, man.
There's no words.
Jim Carrey,
They're
tone
not
it
the words
down.
of a person not worthy of being commander-in-chief. Period. Not then, not now, and not ever. I mean that. I mean that from the bottom of my heart. Just as no commander-in-chief should ever bow down to a dictator, the way Trump bows down to Putin. I never have, and I promise you, Kamala Harris will never do it. Will never bow down.
Bro, your family took like $1 billion from China.
When Trump left office, Europe and NATO was in tatters. Not a joke. America First doctrine changed our whole image in the world. Well, they gave the hours, about 190 hours sum total, leaving my counterparts or heads of state in Europe to strengthen NATO. We did. We united Europe like it hadn't been united for years, adding Finland and Sweden to NATO. 10 days before he died, Henry Kissinger called and said, not since Napoleon has Europe not looked over their shoulder at Russia with dread until now. Until now.
Really?
Well, guess what? Putin thought he'd take Kyiv in 3 days. 3 years later, Ukraine is still free.
They have a dictator who canceled all elections and who banned Christianity.
When I came to office,
And who closed down all the press.
Conventional wisdom was that China would inevitably surpass the United States. They haven't noticed. No one's saying that now.
Bro, announce you're running for president.
And we'll
Do
keep
it.
working to bring hostages home and end the war in Gaza and bring peace and security to the Middle East. As you know, I wrote a peace treaty for Gaza. A few days ago, I put forward a proposal that brought us closer to doing that than we've done since October 7th. We're working around the clock, my Secretary of State, to prevent a wider war and reunite hostages with their families and surge humanitarian health and food assistance into Gaza now. To end the civilian suffering of the Palestinian people and finally deliver a ceasefire and end this war. Those protesters out in the street, they have a point. A lot of innocent people are being killed on both sides.
Tear the wall down. Let them in.
Just as we worked around the clock to bring home wrongfully detained Americans and others from Russia, in one of the most complicated swaps in history. But they're home. Kamala and I are going to keep working to bring all Americans wrongfully defamed around the world home.
Wrongfully defamed.
I mean it. Folks,
Keep saying Kamala and I.
I've got
Keep doing
5
it.
months left in my presidency.
Keep saying Kamala and I.
I've got a lot to do.
Why is that, Joe?
I intend to get it done.
Why do you have 5 months left? Why, Joe? I thought you were running for president.
It's been the honor of my
Joe!
lifetime to serve as your president. I love the job, but I love my country more. I love my country more.
Oh, it's so depressing. Oh, my gosh.
And all this talk about how I'm angry at all those people who said I should step down. That's not true.
Oh, okay.
Literally screaming.
Well, and go to... Look at the seals. Look at this. This is such NPC behavior. Oh, this is good. Look at that.
I love my country more, and we need to preserve our democracy. In 2024, we need you to vote. We need you to keep the Senate. We need you to win back the House of Representatives. And above all, we need you to beat Donald Trump. And elect Kamala and Tim President and Vice President of the United States of America.
It looks like he's going to cry.
Look, they'll continue to lead America forward, creating more jobs, standing up for workers, growing the economy, lower the cost to American families so they just have a little more breathing room. We've made incredible progress, but we have more work to do. And Kamala and Tim will continue to take on corporate greed and bring down cost of food. They'll keep taking on Big Pharma, making insulin $35 a month, not just for seniors, but for everyone in America. And capping prescription drug costs at a total of $2,000, not just for seniors, but for everyone. And folks, that's going to save America again tens of billions of dollars. Folks, they'll make housing more affordable.
People are
building
communists.
3 million new homes, providing $25,000 down payment assistance for the first-time home buyer. More than the 10 we approved. Donald Trump wants a new tax on imported goods, food, gas, clothing, and more. You know what that will cost the average family, according to the experts? $3,900 a year in a tax. No, that's a fact. Kamala and Tim will make the child care tax credit permanent. Lifting millions of children out of poverty and helping millions of families get ahead. But you know what Trump has? He created the largest debt any president had in 4 years with his $2 trillion tax cut for the wealthy. Well, Trump has a new plan. He wants to provide a $5 billion tax cut for corporations and the very wealthy. Read it. Put us further in debt. And folks, you know we have 1,000 billionaires in America. You know what their average tax rate they pay? 8.2%. If we just increased our taxes we proposed to 25%, which isn't the highest tax rate even, it would raise $500 billion new dollars over 10 years. They'd still be very wealthy. Look, Kamala and Tim are going to make them pay their fair share. They'll protect Social Security and Medicare. Trump wants to cut Social Security and Medicare. Kamala and Tim will protect your freedom. They'll protect your your right to vote. They'll protect your civil rights. And you know Trump will do everything to ban abortion nationwide. Oh, he will. You know, Kamala and Tim will do everything they possibly can. That's why you have to elect a Senate and a House to restore Roe v. Wade. The ancient Greeks taught us
Oh no.
character is destiny.
The ancient Greeks
Character
taught
is
us.
destiny. For me and Jill,
Everyone just wants to go to sleep.
we know Kamala and Doug are people of character. It's been our honor to serve alongside them.
Why is he making that face?
And we know
was it like-
that Tim and Gwen Waltz are also people of great character. Selecting Kamala was the very first decision I made when I became our nominee. And it was the best decision I made my whole career. We've not only gotten to know each other, we've become close friends. She's tough, she's experienced, and she has enormous integrity, enormous integrity. Her story represents the best American story.
That's sad.
And like many of our best
Seriously.
presidents, she was also vice president. That's a joke. But she'll be a president our children can look up to. She'll be a president respected by world leaders because she already is. She'll be a president we can all be proud of. And she will be an historic president who puts her stamp on America's future. This will be the first presidential election since January 6th. On that day, we almost lost everything about who we are as a country. And that threat, this is not hyperbole, that threat is still very much alive. Donald Trump says he will refuse to accept the election result if he loses again. Think about that. He means it. Think about that. He's promising a bloodbath if he loses, in his words.
Oh my gosh. Like, this
And
is
that
like
he'll be
the
a
seventh
dictator
hoax.
on day one, in his own words.
The seventh hoax that Joe Biden's pushed.
By the way, this sucker means it.
All of these things.
No, I'm not joking. Think about it. Anybody else said that in the past, you'd think he was crazy. He is crazy, but you'd think it was an exaggeration, but he means it. We can't let that happen. Folks, all of us carry a special obligation. Independents, Republicans, Democrats. We saved democracy in 2020, and now we must save it again in 2024. The vote of each of us cast this year will determine whether democracy and freedom will prevail. It's that simple. It's that serious. And the power is literally in your hands. History is in your hands. Not hyperbole. It's in your hands. America's future is in your hands.
Dude.
Let me close with this.
Chill.
Finally.
Nowhere else in the world could a kid with a stutter and modest beginnings in Scranton, Pennsylvania, and Claymont, Delaware, grow up to sit behind the resolute desk in the Oval Office. That's because America is and always has been a nation of possibilities. Possibilities. We must never lose that. Never. Kamala and Tim understand that this nation must continue to be a place of possibilities, not just for the few of us, but for all of us. So join me in promising your whole heart to this effort, and where my heart will be. I promise I'll be the best volunteer Harrison waltz as Cam never ever seen. Each of us has a part in the American story. For me and my family, there's a song that means a lot to us, that captures the best of who we are as a nation. The song is called American Anthem. There's one verse that stands out, and I can't sing worth a damn, so I'm not going to try. I'll just quote it. The work and prayers of centuries have brought us to this day. What shall our legacy be? What will our children say? Let me know in my heart, when my days are through, America, America, I gave my best to you. I've made a lot of mistakes in my career, but I gave my best to you. For 50 years, like many of you, I've given my heart and soul to our nation. And I've been blessed a million times in return with the support of the American people. I've either been too young to be in the Senate because I wasn't 30 yet, and too old to stay as president. But I hope you know how grateful I am to all of you. I can honestly say, and I mean this from the bottom, give you my word as a Biden, I can honestly say I'm more optimistic about the future than I was when I was elected as a 29-year-old United States Senator. I mean it. Folks, we just have to remember who we are. We're the United States of America. And there's nothing we cannot do when we do it together. God bless you all, and may God protect our troops. Thank you.
Oh my gosh. Okay. Oh, thank God. My ears are bleeding. Okay. Do you have to scream the entire time? He yelled. The meds are wearing off. It is 12:20 Eastern Standard Time. This is, of course, where Joe Biden lives. They did this on purpose so that no one would watch. Think about this. Nobody stays up that late. I mean, we love you, right? Like, on the stream with us. But this is different. Like, they know that nobody's going to be watching. Like the final insult to Joe Biden. 12:20 Eastern Standard Time. Nobody's sitting there with a TV tuned into the DNC convention. Look at this. Ugh. Here we go. So Joe Biden repeats at least 5 hoaxes: the very fine people hoax, the suckers and losers hoax, the nationwide abortion ban lie, the bloodbath lie, and then obviously the January 6th lie. They are liars. Such liars. Everything is built on a hoax. These are provable. Oh, there's Hunter. There's Hunter. There you go. Okay. And the best part is Nancy Pelosi sucking in her dentures and doing like this half-assed cheer for Joe.
That was the greatest cutaway.
Do we have that, guys? That was really good. Oh, this is bad. Okay, so there's Joe. There's his family. There's Hunter makes it.
Everyone kiss on the lips in this
Why
family?
they're all kissing on the lips. Yeah, they're all. They beat COVID. Here they all go kissing each other on the lips, taking showers together. Okay. Creepy, weird Biden family. Joe just screamed himself through an hour-long speech. Just screaming at the top of his lungs the entire time. Like breathlessly, rage screaming. A speech filled with bitterness, divisiveness, lies about Donald Trump, hoaxes, Kamala Harris grimacing as Joe talks about everything they've done together and how she's going to continue it. They know that's very, very bad. And an entire party cheering for the guy that they shivved and threw into the trash compactor in the dark of night. What kind of cognitive dissonance have you got to be a Democrat? 15 million people voted for him in the primaries, and they just say, screw you, and throw him into the incinerator. What kind of a party can do something like this? And Joe admitted in this speech it was just to try and save the House and the Senate. I don't think they even think Kamala can win. Joe admits the reason I did this was just pure calculated political force. Joe with his goofy family, creepily grabbing Ashley, like everyone was like kind of weird, pointing at the kid. Oh, come on, man.
The weird thing too, that kid right there, Hunter's kid that he said for a while, oh no, that's not my kid, but now,
The unacknowledged grandchild.
Yep.
Not the same grandchild, but yes, Hunter does have other children with other women that he refuses to acknowledge. Navy Joan Roberts.
Too many to keep up. Sorry.
Navy Joan Roberts in Arkansas is the non-acknowledged grandchild. And there he goes. And that's it. Then that's it, ladies and gentlemen. Final thoughts. Final thoughts.
How is that a coincidence? 2 hours late. Oops, sorry, Joe. 2 hours late. I think he loaded up on ice cream, though.
Yeah, I think he was loaded on something. Final thoughts.
One thing is, there was no policy in there about what Kamala's going to do. Just
right.
what we've done.
Point.
Hey, we're going to keep doing it over and over again.
That's such a great point.
Best thing I love all about Kamala, how can you run a campaign and not say what you're going to do?
But she has 20 different pronouns to choose from. What are you guys talking about?
Yeah.
KamalaHarris.com. Woohoo.
Jeez. Yeah, that's exactly right. The entire speech was about Donald Trump.
Oh, yeah.
The entire speech was about Donald Trump.
It really felt like it was like a college kid or like a high school kid. He had a notebook paper and he's like, okay, I need to do 2,000 words. How it is.
Yeah.
Donald Trump, corn pop.
A billion, trillion.
Yep.
A billion, trillion, trillionaires.
Add a little folks. Yep, I'm good.
Yeah. Probably without question, the best was Nancy Pelosi. Pop it up.
That was too good.
You boys got it? Okay. I did pop it up. There's Nancy.
You can hear like the evil music in the background, like dun dun
No,
dun.
no, boys. No, boys. This one. I'll do this one. Pop that one up. This is the best. This is the entire country, actually. This is the entire country. The one thing we all have in common is everyone's like really, really sick of this guy. This was Nancy Pelosi trying to mouth, "Let's go, Joe. Let's go." Yes, she's so excited. She's so excited to do it.
That's an ad right there. It could write itself.
Yeah,
you know?
that's exactly
Trump
right.
camp, get on that.
Like Kamala talk about how high prices are these days. It's like, that's an ad. Just put Trump. Just put I'm Donald Trump and I approve this message right at the end of that. Ladies and gentlemen, we're really, really happy to have done this 3-hour live. Crazy they kept Joe Biden up this late. But we thank you. Please join the channel, subscribe, become a member, and make sure that you are supporting freedom fighters who are out here fighting for you, even inside of the DNC. We're doing a better job than the Democrats have actually done here at their own convention. We've produced more content and gone more viral than the Dem influencers at their own convention. So peace out. Thank you so much for being on the program. Do you have channels you want to shout out?
Just Twitter. That's it.
No? Okay. Channels you want to shout out?
My Twitter, C Sinclair TV, and then just follow us at Turning Point Action. We're doing amazing stuff. Grassroots, on the ground.
All right. Rock and roll. Hey, everyone. Peace out. Thank you. And we have a meme for you. We have a meme. You know, we got you. We got the Joe Biden. We got the Joe Biden pooper for you. Here we go.
Let me tell you the story I heard from a local state trooper about Joe Biden riding on the Air Force One Cooper. His days were numbered, nobody wanted him around, so he took his cash and went out like D.B. Cooper. Run, Joe, run into the Amazon. Take your wife and crackhead son. Maybe one day we find your fortune like F.J.B. Cooper. Join us in the hunt for truth and light. At the Benny Show, targets in sight. Run, Joe, run into the Amazon. Take your wife and crackhead son. Maybe one day we find your fortune like F.J.B. Cooper. Join us in the hunt for truth and light. At the Benny Show, targets in sight. Run, Joe, run into the Amazon. Take your wife and crackhead son. Maybe one day we find your fortune like F.J.B. Cooper.